Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. How is everyone doing this evening? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the One Man Low Council. And it is a crazy night tonight because I feel like everyone and their mother is streaming tonight. Gary is about to go live. I think that Jedi Bunny is currently live right now. I want to say Geeky Candy is live right now. Someone was mentioning other people that are either live or about to go live. It is insane. I don't know what's going on. Well, obviously, I do know what's going on. There's just so much stuff going on in the world right now. So many things getting canceled, so many things being pushed back, so many things happening. A lot for us to talk about this evening. So I hope you are all doing well wherever you are in the world. I hope that you are doing okay. For anyone that's in Italy right now, of course, I'm sending special prayers to you. Anyone else that's in a major city in the United States or any other part of the world where you're having a lot of cases of CV, I, of course, am praying for you as well. And obviously, we're going to get through this. Again, we will get through this. There's definitely a light at the end of the tunnel. And all we really need to do is try and listen to those people that are trying to give us the good advice that we should probably listen to and hope for the best. Again, try and take care of ourselves, try and take care of those around us to the very best of our ability. But, oh man, the industry tonight has taken a major hit. So as you can tell from the title of the video, AMC and Regal have both decided to shutter their doors here in the United States. They are two of the largest movie theater chains in the United States. Cinemark has also recently shuttered down all of their theaters as well, leaving very few options available. As far as major chains go, I can't really think of one that would still be open at this point. Either way, though, you're looking at a huge downfall of the box office because there is not going to be any box office this weekend. It's going to be kind of a weird Sunday for me because normally on Sundays, I'm waiting for those numbers to come in so I can start crunching them and I can start making predictions. I'm not going to be able to do that this weekend. And we did have new releases last weekend, so basically, we don't know what in the world is going to happen. You also now have studios like Universal, and I believe another studio has just today decided to get into the game as well. Warner Brothers actually have already announced that Birds of Prey is going to be released a little bit earlier than usual. Now, I know everyone on this channel cannot wait for Birds of Prey to be released because that movie was amazing. What's amazing to me, though, is that they actually want to charge people like $25 to get early access to Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey has been out in theaters for well over a month now. The fact that you're going to try and charge $25 for someone to watch it early is despicable. So shame on you, Warner Brothers, for doing that. Universal makes a lot more sense to me. Again, charging around $20 for the movies that they have available. For anyone wondering, movies like Emma, which is more of an indie film, is available right now for $20, or rather, it's going to be available on Friday, starting Friday, on demand for about $20. You also have the new movie called The Hunt, which is, of course, that very controversial political take on the current state of the country. Heard some mixed things about it. That's going to be available as well. You have the next Trolls movie is going to be coming out on the same day as it originally was scheduled to be released, but now it'll be directly released onto video on demand, and I believe that will also cost around $20 or so. And the more I think about it, the more that people talk to me about it, I definitely can understand why a lot of people would say that's a reasonable price, because if you have a family of four and you don't have to go to the theater and spend money not only on tickets, which already would be about, $50 to $100 for your entire family, and then spend even more money on popcorn and soft drinks, now you can stay at your home for $20 for a brand new movie. That I can understand why people would argue that. Now, if you're by yourself and watch a movie by yourself, well, then $20 is kind of a little bit too much. That's why I still think personally that the happy medium would be around $15 for a movie to be able to rent it for 48 hours. For the main reason being that I think it's fair to those that are watching it as an individual, and it's, I think, extremely fair to anyone that's watching it as a family. Not to mention the studios do not have to split the money with theaters like they normally have to. And I was actually digging in some of the numbers, and for purchases on sites like iTunes or Google Play, studios get around 90% of whatever the cost of the movie is on those platforms. So Google Play and Apple, they only get about 10% of purchases on movies. Apparently for rentals, it's about a 70-30 split. At the very least with iTunes, maybe it's different with some other providers, but for rentals, it's about a 70-30 split. So the studios get 70% of however much they make off the rental, while iTunes and Apple get around 30% or so, which is still a better deal than what you normally have at the theater, where most of the time, the split between theaters, so AMC, Regal, etc., and the studios is around 60-40. So studios only get around 60% of the entire box office that you ever see, and 40% of that goes to the actual theaters. So as you can see, there's definitely a lot of things at play right now. There's a lot of questions too. Black Widow was just announced today. that it has been delayed. We already knew that Mulan had been delayed. We already knew that many other Disney projects have been delayed as well. New Mutants, of course, has been delayed once again. And there's a lot of question marks. And the fact that you now have the governor of New York saying that he thinks that the peak of all of this stuff going on with CV in the United States won't peak until 45 days from now, you can see why a lot of us are getting concerned. Because if the peak is in 45 days, that means that we've got the next 2 months of basically having to continue to do this practice, because even after that peak, we're still going to have to try and do this type of self-quarantining, because if we don't, then it'll just spike back up again. So we're looking probably, and again, I'm not trying to fearmonger here. I'm just trying to be honest with the things that I've been listening to, the things I've been hearing. We might have this for another 2 months or so. And all I can say is that if theater chains remain closed for a month or two, I don't know if they're going to be able to reopen in every single location. They might have to start shutting things down. Now, of course, the federal government here has talked about providing for stimulus packages for various companies that are voluntarily shutting down, which I'm usually not for stimulus packages. But to be fair, when it's something like this, where it was obviously none of those businesses' fault and they are shutting down to try and comply with federal guidelines, to me, it kind of makes sense for them to be reimbursed in some way. However, at the same time, it just raises that question of, will we be able to afford it, and how much more in debt will we be as a country because of all of the stuff going on right now? It's just insane, right? It's just completely insane. I've never experienced anything like this in my entire life. Not to say that it's been that long, again, 31 years, but still, 31 years. And this is the first time that anything has happened in this degree. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump into the chat. Very sorry if anyone was bored by the things that I was saying, but we are indeed fighting a lot of people tonight in the streaming wars. We're having our own streaming wars tonight on YouTube with various other channels that I all love and respect, by the way. But first off, let's start off with a super chat from The Price is Right Review, who says, "Yo, man, I pray you and your family stay safe, bro." Well, Price is Right Review, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. We're lucky we're in the state of Tennessee, which does not seem to have as many cases as many other parts of the country. We have about 53 active cases that we know about at this time. I'm assuming that number will probably go up as the weeks go by, but we seem to be going up at a much slower pace than other states. So hopefully that's a good sign that we'll be okay. Regardless of that, though, because we do have cases, including in our own county where we are right now, we're obviously going to have to do this self-quarantining. We actually are starting, as you all know, I'm a teacher. We're actually starting remote learning for the next month at least. So right now we have remote learning in place until April 13th. And at that time, they're going to reassess, which means, and this is what I honestly think is going to happen. I've talked to a lot of teachers about it, and I've talked to a lot of people what their honest thoughts are. And if we're going on the pace that we're going, and if the governor of New York is to be believed that this is going to peak in 45 days, well, obviously April 13th is, not 45 days away. It's less than 45 days away. And so we could definitely have this go out all the way until the end of the year, which breaks my heart, because I know there's a lot of students that are seniors who, this is their senior year. They want to be able to enjoy those last moments with their friends. They want to be able to do the things like senior prom and all these other things that go along with being a senior. That might not happen now, right? There's a chance that might not happen. The juniors too, right? The class that I teach, they have a junior prom. They have things that they get to do. They like spending time with each other. I know that they hate going to school, but I know that they love spending time with each other. They don't have that anymore. And it's not like they can go out with each other on their days off, on their days off to go to a movie or go to another social gathering, because everything's closing down. So it's going to get rough, I think, and it's going to be interesting transitioning into this remote learning. Again, I've never had to do that before, but I think what it does is it shows us that remote learning is something that all teachers should know. This is something that I think is going to test a lot of schools as to whether they are prepared for an event like this. And that's why I'm always trying to find the bright side of it. And I think that we're going to come out of this so much stronger than we were going in, as a school, as a community, as a nation. Obviously, it doesn't feel that way right now, but we're going to get to that point. And all we can really do at this point is try our very best to stay as positive as we can and to do everything that we're being asked to do, right? As long as it's within reason. And right now, self-quarantining, what's it called? Moderate social separation at this point. That's something that's completely reasonable in my mind, and I think that we should do our very best to do that, because it's not about us necessarily. It's about who we can impact, because I'm a relatively young, healthy person. So if I were to contract this, I would probably be okay without any actual permanent damage. But I might get other people around me or people in my family sick, and those people might not be as or might be more susceptible to it than I am. So it's not just thinking about us, right? We're far past the point of us being self-centered in all this. We need to also think about how many people do I interact with on a daily basis. For me as a teacher, I interact with my students. So I got to think about, I have 100 students that I interact with on a daily basis. So I'm glad that we're doing this, because what if one of those students has it and then gives it to any other number of the students that are in the school, and then they bring it home to their parents or their grandparents who might not be, or to a sibling perhaps, or a family member that might not have the ability to fight off infection, right? So that's why I think that what we're doing right now is the right call. But obviously, it's going to be very tough. But anyway, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father. Member, Father Christopher Miller is in the chat. What's going on? Tina is here as well. Mr. Peabody is here. John Cockastone is here. Hyper X13. Gloin to Hobbit. Member, Gloin to Hobbit. And Mr. Peabody, I see now what you were trying to say over there. You meant that because you're a member? Yes. So because you're a member, you don't have to type Odin question. And now that I'm understanding it, hopefully now it makes more sense. Father Christopher Miller says, just finished watching Superman Red Son. Pretty awesome and almost faithful to the comic. Only downside, big change, is that Wonder Woman is a lesbian. Whoa, wait, that's kind of random. I don't like that at all. Greta, what's going on? Greta says, how's everyone doing? I'm doing okay, Greta. Hope you're doing okay. Louisiana is getting hit very hard with it. They have well over 100 cases now. I know that Louisiana is pretty much going on lockdown as a state, where to the point when you have Louisiana, especially the New Orleans area, closing down or being asked to close down bars and casinos, that's a big thing, right? Because whenever anyone thinks of New Orleans, normally you think about the food, but normally you think about the bars. So having that stuff closed down at this time, to be honest, that's actually something that I think the city needs, because the city needs to get its priorities straight. Let's just be honest here. City of New Orleans is a train wreck when it comes to itself. It needs a lot of help. So hopefully this is something that can, again, trying to find the bright side of it. Hopefully it's a wake-up call for them. But yeah, it's crazy that that's what's going on right now. Let's see. Laura Ryan stole my fan fiction stories in the chat. Soul Assassin, Slicer Neons, G-Monkey76 is here. Frank and DeClan. HyperNex13 says, how's it going, Odin? Thoughts on new releases going straight to VOD? Do you think this will be a sign of movie theaters dying? What's your thoughts? Stuckman did a pretty good video on it. I saw that video that Stuckman did. He did a very good video, and he's kind of mixed on it. He wants to support this new format because he wants to support the studios, so that way they keep on making content. But also at the same time, he recognizes that this could be a very precarious situation for movie theaters. I think it won't be the death of the movie theater, but I think that movie theaters are never going to be the same after this event, because studios are now going to they've never had a reason to try it before, but now they're going to have their first taste of what if we were to release our movies on demand? How much extra profit could we possibly make, since we're not having to split any revenues with major theater chains? And now they're going to find out. We're not having any major releases yet at this point. If Disney were to announce tomorrow Black Widow's coming onto Disney Plus, or it's going to be released on VOD, that would be a big thing, right? That's a Marvel film. That's a huge thing. If any other major release is to have that kind of treatment, that to me is going to be a bigger sign of, okay, now they're really trying to see, can their big tentpole items be as successful online without having been released in theaters first. So I think that theaters are still going to be around, because obviously there are certain films that just do better on a bigger screen, but especially for more independent films, right? Because remember that a lot of these major companies and major studios, they own independent wings that focus on making smaller production budget-based films. Those movies might not ever get theatrical releases, or might get a much more limited theatrical release and just get released on the same day, video on demand. We could see that become a practice. It all depends on how well it does. So some people have the one mindset of, I want to support the studios, so that way they keep running. And then on the flip side of that, you have others that are saying to themselves, but at the same time, I don't want theaters to die. And if studios realize that they can be successful without the movie exhibitors, without the people showing the movie, and that they can do it themselves, it can become a problem later on. So I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. Again, part of me is excited for it, because I always like new advances in technology. We've been talking about that happening for a while. I mean, I've been predicting that. I said in the next 10 years, get ready, because that's what studios are going to do. Now the studio's hands are forced, because there's no theaters for them to show their movies in. So it's either delay, or put it out there and see what happens. And we will see what happens. Rob D says, hey, Odin, listen to any new Star Wars audio books. I'm currently in the last book of the Bane trilogy. So I'm in the last book of the Darth Bane trilogy. I'm about 2 chapters into that. So far, am loving it. All right, chat jumped on me very early on, so I'm imagining that we've got some chats going on tonight. So let's go ahead and see. In fact, let's see how we're doing since we're going upstream against a bunch. We have 55 people in here. That's about what I thought, because I'm assuming Gary's live now. I'm assuming that all the other channels are still live as well. So it's going to be a slow night, but that's okay. You're my hardcore base. You're the awesome people. I might have to do something special for y'all later. Remind me of that when we're getting towards the end. All right, member Alex McCarthy says, "Howdy, Odin. How's it going? Doing just fine. Doing just fine." Member Larry says, "Odin, what's going on?" The Saint is in the chat. What's going on? The Saint Bruce is here as well. Let us see. Larry says, "My memberships are expiring. Have to save every penny." Boom. Boom, son. Do you mean your memberships of all your streaming services that you have? Tina says, "I will be right back. Schwann's driver 2 hours late and just finally left my stuff. It has to go into the freezer." Okay, Tina. Sorry about that. Sorry that it took so long. Rob D says, "Not one movie hit 1 million at the box office yesterday." No, it didn't. And that's one of the things that I have pulled up here. So the highest grossing film yesterday on Monday was Onward, that made a whopping $753,000. $175 a screen. You go down to the number 5 movie, The Hunt. It made $356,000. $118 a screen. You go down to Birds of Prey, which again is getting an early release from Warner Brothers, and they're going to charge a whopping $25, which I think that's extortion, because this is not a brand new release like Universal has, and they're charging $20. This is a movie that's been out for over a month. No one went to go see it. And you know the reason why they're charging $25 is because no one went to go see it. They're still in the whole $28 million. And so they're like, oh, let's make as much money and let's try to take advantage of this as much as we possibly can. So definitely I'm not happy with Warner Brothers right now because of that nonsense. But Birds of Prey only made $55,000. They made $25 a screen. $25 a screen. But that movie deserves to be $25 on home release. Sure, bud. So ridiculous. Let us see here. Mr. Peabody says, "Due to CV, Australia will be detaching from the planet. You might feel a slight shudder. Don't worry. We will drop off Tom Hanks on the way past." Father Christopher Miller says, "I wouldn't even give a roll of toilet paper to watch Birds of Prey." I don't blame you, man. Bruce says, "I'm glad that we as a country are shuttering the doors and windows like we are. It's a smart thing to do. It is. It's all about..." Again, it's been covered by several doctors that have been giving interviews on it. It's all about trying to curb the spike. You know, some countries have had it where it's just been a giant spike and they've been at capacity and it's been terrible. We're trying to have it be where, okay, we still have a spike and it lasts maybe a little bit longer, but not as many people get impacted, which means not as many people die. That's really what it's about trying to do. It's trying to limit the amount of deaths possible. People are going to die. More people are going to get infected. But if we can limit that as much as possible, that's the most important thing. Because otherwise, our infrastructure is not made to have half the population sick, or even a quarter of the population, or even less than that. I want to say someone said like 10% of our population or whatever it is cannot be affected, or else we'll be at capacity. So we're trying to curb that, right? And the process of trying to build more beds, more ventilators, things like that. But yeah, we don't want it to get to that point. And the only way that is going to be stopped is if we try and implement these measures, which is why it ticks me off to see all of these freaking kids licking toilet seats with the hashtag, was it bye bye boomer or something to that effect? It's disgusting. Oh no, boomer remover. That's what it is. Hashtag boomer remover. It's disgusting. It is so disgusting, not just because they're licking a toilet seat, but also the fact that their mindset is, I want to catch this so that a certain age of the population dies off. That's disgusting. And that's the country we're living in right now. That's the world we're living in right now, are people that think that way. It's so ridiculous. Mark Oquist, have you watched Trading Places and Coming to America yet? No, I have not. Hardwick, I would maybe stream Birds of Prey if they paid me $25. Maybe. Yeah, I would even say a hard maybe on that one, because I got halfway through it and was like, no, thank you. Soul Assassin says, they couldn't pay me to watch Birds of Prey. Wait a minute, free money. I'll start $100 and I might watch the movie, says Soul Assassin. G-Monkey76, I voted this morning and stocked my parents up so they don't have to worry and deal with the weirdos. I can't wait for this to be over. Damn, dude. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the primaries going on right now today got shut down. So I think 2 or 3 states were supposed to have voting today in the Democratic primary. They shut down. And a few of them are still going forward with it. But I imagine those numbers are probably not going to be that high, which could be good for some people, could be bad. It's going to be interesting nonetheless. Member Nano Reaper says, so what you are saying is there's going to be a lot of free movies on the seas. That's what's going to be interesting too, is that are they going to try to have new security on these releases to try and hack, to crack down on pirating? Or is this just going to make it that much easier for people to pirate? Yeah, it's a very good point, Nano Reaper. I think that you will see some HD quality video coming out of some of these releases much earlier on. And I think that's the other reason why why Universal is starting off with lesser films, because they're films that most people will probably end up buying and spending money on, but they're able to lose out on that money if need be, on people who are going to pirate it. Because people that are going to pirate are going to pirate regardless. So I'm imagining that they're trying to figure out what is the lowest that they can go, or rather what is the pirate rate versus people purchasing rate going to be for a movie this early in release. It'll be interesting. It'll be fascinating to look at. Tina says, okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Of course, he shows up as soon as the show comes on. Of course. Member Father Christopher Miller says, yep, now I'm not paying $20 for a movie to watch when I can spend a few more dollars and buy it outright. Exactly. Let's see. Father Christopher Miller says, Doomcock going live in 30. Yep, that's what I figured. Everyone's going live tonight, it seems. Sergeant Neon says, I heard record low turnouts in Illinois and Florida for primaries. One spot had 9 voters in 3 hours. Everything is breaking down. Damn, yeah. And you know what? To be honest, Slicer, that actually might be good news for Bernie Sanders. Think about it. That guy has a younger fan base, a younger voter base, who are not going to be as impacted by this going on, which means they're more likely to go out to vote. They're obviously a lot more passionate as well. So it's going to be interesting to see those results as they come in, because, yeah, this could have a huge impact on the Democratic election when you think about it, because imagine this keeps going on. Imagine if some states decide to keep having their primaries and Bernie keeps on gathering delegates because the Biden people are staying home because they're quarantined. Talk about voter suppression. But still, like, oh my goodness, it's crazy. It is crazy. Bruce says, context paying $20. For people like me, it costs under $8 with my military discount. Yeah, and a lot of people would say, oh, I would go see a matinee show for $5. Why would I spend $20? As I said, it makes sense for people who are going to see it with their family or are watching it at home with their family or with friends. It makes sense for them. It doesn't make sense for an individual person to spend $20. Right? It doesn't matter how much it costs. You're paying that much to rent it. If you were buying it, if they were saying we're selling it right now, like fresh for $25 on digital, that would make sense to me, because you pay that $25, you own it. But you pay $20, $25 just to rent it for 48 hours. If you're by yourself, that's ridiculous. If you're with a family, hey, it works out. But as you can see, there's definitely positives and negatives with it. Orange Eye Reviews says, okay, I'm 3 minutes late. Everything is stupid right now. My town has basically shut down 80% of the town. The boredom for me and my ADHD is strong and getting stronger. And I'm sorry to hear that, man. I heard that a lot of your local theaters have shut down. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we have now officially, Regal has shut down. AMC theaters have shut down all their theaters. Cinemark has just shut down all of their theaters as well. I have a list here. So Deadline has a lot of comprehensive list on this. So here's just the latest headlines. So one is a pretty crazy one. And that is that apparently 120,000 jobs have been lost because of CV-related production shutdown in one group, specifically cinematographers. So it's called the IATSE, and apparently it's a grouping of cinematographers. 120,000. So that's not just people behind the camera, it's also people helping those people behind the camera as well. So a lot of jobs have been lost because of these things being shut down. Of course, Universal releasing things like The Invisible Man on video on demand this Friday. The Hunt will be available this Friday as well. Emma will be available this Friday. And then they've already announced that the next Trolls movie will also be released, I believe in April is when that movie comes out. And it'll be released directly on video on demand and not in theaters. Of course, we had breaking news 2 hours ago. Cinemark is going to shutter all 345 of its U.S. theaters on Wednesday. So starting tomorrow, all Cinemark theaters will be closed. So it might be open tonight, but tomorrow they're going to start shutting their doors. The Olivier Awards were canceled as well. NATO responds to exhibition shutdown while defending theatrical window. People will return to the theaters. As I said, to what extent, though? I think people will go to theaters, but will there be a portion that decides to stay home now when they realize, oh, there's so much content online now and I don't have to leave my house? This is where it starts. Because you're going to have some people that have cabin fever that say, I cannot wait to get back to the theater. You're also going to have other people that are going to say, hey, you know what? I kind of like this staying at home. Black Widow no longer opening May 1st due to CV fears and exhibition showdown. So again, Black Widow has officially been delayed as well. Cine Europe organizer set deadline to decide if Barcelona-based convention goes ahead this summer. AMC closing all of their theaters for 6 to 12 weeks. 6 to 12 weeks. So at least a month, possibly 2 or 3. Birds of Prey comes to VOD earlier than expected. It'll be on VOD next Tuesday, March 24th for $25, which is, of course, outrageous. CV theater closures in U.S. hit 3,000 as Alamo Drafthouse and others go dark. So Alamo Drafthouse have shut down their theaters as well. And then, of course, Landmark temporarily closes all of their theaters as well. And Regal was one of the first ones to do it. So starting yesterday, they shut down all of theirs until further notice. So they have not put a timeline on theirs. But that's basically what everyone else is doing, right? Even if someone puts a date and says, 6 to 12 weeks, what that means is that they're giving themselves 6 to 12 weeks. It could be less. It could be more. It's going to be about 6 at the very least. And it might even be more, which is why they have that range. But let's say they get to 12 weeks and things are still crazy. They're not going to reopen. Like, let's just be honest here. All right, my D-Live fam. I'm sorry if I've fallen behind a little bit on you guys, but let me go ahead and just say hello to my D-Live fam. So let's see. Adam, what's going on, man? He says, happy St. Patty's Day. Thank you very much. Happy Feast of St. Patrick to you. Captain High says, hail Odin, be in and out, got stuff going on, no problem. K-Man, thank you very much for that. Phonemo, they are live because they are mean. This is true. This is very, very true. Adam says, Huggies turned 16 today. Happy birthday to Huggies. Adam says, I know you want to sing happy birthday to my wiener dog, Huggies. I don't want to sing right now because I'm a little bit behind, but happy birthday to you, Huggies. Captain Mr. Roy, Cinemark is also stopping their movie club while they are closed. Yeah, that's the big question that I have, Captain Mr. Roy. What is AMC going to offer for people that have their AMC A-list? I'm an AMC A-list member. I have not used it as much as I should, but are we going to get charged this month? I'm assuming that we're not, and I've not done a lot of research on that, so... Greta, I know that you're in the chat. I want to say you had it at one point. Maybe you still have it now, but let me know if we have any information about whether we're still going to get charged during this time when they're closed or how that's going to work. Phonemo says, I'm not a fan of this VOD the studios are doing. And again, I think that there's a lot of reasons to not be a fan of it because, again, it creates a lot of problems for the future of the theaters. He says, the VOD thing could finally give the studios an excuse to get rid of physical copies. Yeah, Phonemo, the only reason why I still have confidence in physical copies is because being able to rent it for 48 hours, that's one thing, right? People wanting to actually buy it, though, there's still a lot of people that buy physical media. Still a lot of people that buy physical media. You have studios that have already committed. I forgot, there was one studio that about maybe 2-3 months ago, committed to the next 10 years of continuing to release things on on physical format. You also now have other studios that are starting to basically open up new lines where they are now releasing older classic films on Blu-ray for the first time, or higher quality transfers on Blu-ray for the first time. So that's also something that's going on right now as well. So I think that the physical media world will still be okay. Because here's the other thing too. Some stores are still open. So do we have a large influx of people that are buying things on Amazon, buying things at Best Buy, buying physical copies of movies? Are we seeing an influx of those since there's people that know they're going to have to stay indoors for a long time? Okay, we don't have that information yet. Phonemo says the people licking toilets are the same people who aren't stocking up, who are not stocking up on condoms. A whole generation of stupid is about to be born. Oh Lord, Phonemo. ZK Man, thank you very much for the diamond donation. I appreciate you, bruv. Daniel Thorne says you will still be charged. You still will be charged for a list. You need to cancel. Okay, you will still be charged for a list. You need to cancel, but due to Steve, you don't want to wait to get it back. Wait, what? I don't quite understand that. Parasol Pats, when you making an OnlyFans, my dude. What? All right, so we got a troll over there. You're gone. Sorry, but I'm not sorry at all. Get out of here. Pindrop says, hail to you. Kamikaze, what's going on, bro? Bruce says, I I do not think I would take advice from someone like the governor of New York for anything. I understand your sentiment on that, but he was saying that in a very non-political moment. I think he was just trying to be realistic with it. Tina says, Stephanie is running a bit late to work. That's no problem at all. Kamikaze says, the issue is sole traders who run businesses. Such Neons, Gary, the Stream Crossers title says, Lord of the Rings shut down production. Amazon just lost millions. Ouch. Yeah, big time. Super Anime Gamer says, hey, what is up, my dude? What is going on, Super? How's it going? Member, Father Christopher Miller says, saw how they do the test for the virus, and I do not want to take it. Yeah, so it's not like they swab the inside of your mouth. They have to swab basically, like, think about getting all the way to, like, the back part of your mouth. They basically almost choke you to get it. And even then, it might actually, to be honest, I don't know if it's done through the mouth or if they actually have to do it through the nose itself. But basically, they have to get at, like, some part, at, like, the upper part. Yeah, I don't want to either. I do not want it either. It's awful. Orange Eye Reviews, anything that comes out of Cuomo's mouth is usually the same ignorance as a 3-year-old in high school. This is usually true, as I said before. But when he's speaking from a serious side and not going pure politics, pure political, I think he's trying to be realistic. And to be honest, based on the models that we have, that actually sounds more realistic. Father says, no life being created at the senior prom. Venom Broly 93. Games on stream and other online platform sales are increased a lot. I imagine. Again, a lot of online stuff, gaming, movies, things like that are digital. Absolutely. I heard some news that apparently you had some closures, though, with some companies. I want to say something happened with Nintendo Switch, where Nintendo Online or the store, the e-store, got shut down for some reason. Maybe that's something else. I'm not exactly quite sure. Super Anime Gamer says, I absolutely believe what Cuomo said, and by the end of it, I believe stats will mimic swine flu. The media has been crazy, but it is big. It is big, right? The media have been trying to whip everyone into a frenzy, and they haven't been helping anyone. But when you actually dig through their crap and go to the experts speaking on it, yeah, it's definitely something that we can't just completely ignore. That's for sure. Father Christopher Miller says, a good number of my parishioners are elderly. Heaven help them if they get sick. Absolutely, Father. And Father has been a part of one of those parishes where masses have been shut down. Public masses have been shut down. And it makes a lot of sense for those older parishes, especially because you want to make sure that they're okay. But for me, I don't like the idea of shutting parishes down. I don't like the idea of shutting churches down. You can simply try to make it clear that they are dispensed from going. They don't have to go. And if they choose to go at that point, I think that they are taking on the risk for themselves. But I don't think that the sacraments should be closed. I don't think that the masses should be shut down. I think that's a bad way of doing it. I think we need more masses, right? I think that we need an increase in the number of sacraments during times like this, not a decrease. So I understand from a practical standpoint why, especially in older parishes, you would have that. But at the same time, too, just make it very clear, hey, there's a high risk in coming to Mass, but we still want to offer it for anyone that actually, wants to. And we'll take all the precautions that we possibly can, of course. Father also says, I'm really hoping that it improves before Easter. Celebrating the Triduum by myself is going to suck. Yeah, Father, you're right. And I was listening to a Catholic podcast earlier, and they made an interesting point. We could see, I think it was Dr. Taylor Marshall, great Catholic YouTuber. I want to say he mentioned that this could be the first time since Emperor Constantine that the Easter Vigil has not been celebrated in Rome. This could be the first time that there has not been a public celebration of the Easter Mass since the time of Constantine I, which would have been the 4th century. So even if you're not Catholic, that's big, right? We're talking about from the 4th century. There has always been a Mass. There's always been an Easter Mass in Rome. This might be the first time in history since the 4th century that a Mass is not celebrated on the Easter Vigil, a public Mass at the very least. There's obviously going to be private Masses celebrated, but it's insane. Mr. Peabody says, you don't know remote learning. You do realize you jump on here twice a week and teach us stuff. This is true, Mr. Peabody. This is true. And that's why I told my students, I was like, because obviously, a couple weeks ago, before all this stuff got really bad, they were like, oh, do you think we'll get out of school? They were excited. They were happy. They're like, oh, man, if we can get out a week or two, that'd be awesome. But now that they're like, I think some of them are probably going to realize, oh, wait, we're going to be out for a month. I think that especially the seniors are going to have a lot different perspective on it now. But I told them, too, I was like, don't get too excited because remember, you have a teacher that is a YouTuber. I understand how technology works, so I will make you work. Oh, man. Let's see here. Let's see. Hardwick says, have you seen the trailer for the upcoming World War II movie Greyhound starring Tom Hanks? It's about a ship fighting a wolf pack of U-boats. No, I have not. I've heard of it. Laura says, I saw the video of cops clearing out the French Quarter. Oh, man, I have not seen that yet. But yeah, you can only imagine the kind of... I pray for the cops, to be honest, because I know the people down there. I live there. And there are a lot of jackasses down in that city. A lot of them. And it's kind of ridiculous how many there are. So I'm praying for those cops, because even though the NOPD has a lot of problems and a lot of issues in it, most of them are good people, right? I'm always going to be behind people in uniform, whether it's in the Army, military, or whether it's, those that are public servants like our police and our firefighters, right? I'm always going to have respect for them. So I have their back on that, but I'm praying for them, because Lord knows that there are enough stupid people in that city that it's going to be chaotic. And I imagine the video shows that sense of chaotic. It's ridiculous. Hologram Nunchuck, what's going on, man? Super Anime Gamer says, I know I've made remarks before, but thinking about theaters and small businesses, specifically comic shops, I really hope my business owner friends survive. That's the other thing too, right? If these smaller businesses especially have to shut down, that's a lot of business that they're not getting, and they still have to pay things like rent, which is why I'm happy to hear that from everything that's been told to me so far, based on these reports, it seems that they're going to be trying to have basically a stimulus package that's not just going to be for the giant companies, but also there's going to be money for smaller businesses too that have been impacted by this. So this is one of those times though where I think the government stepping in is a net positive, right? There's negatives to it too, but I think it's a net positive, because this is a clear case of businesses being affected because of no fault of their own, right? This is not the same thing as bailing out the banks that made the stupid loans back in 2008 that caused the financial crisis, or it was like that's the center point of the financial crisis, right? Those banks should not have received a damn dime of taxpayer dollars. This is different, right? These are companies, big and small, that are voluntarily shutting down in most places. Some places that might actually be forced to, but most of the places have been voluntarily shutting down. And that means they're losing money. They're losing industry. That, to me, especially since they're doing it to try and help curtail this, is something that, to me, I think deserves that kind of help. And the same reason why they're going to be trying to help hourly earners, too, who are losing out on money as well, trying to support their families. So that's one thing I know that people in the House and Senate are working on right now. How can we get cash to people that desperately need it right now to pay for rent and things? And a lot of other companies, too, are saying, okay, we're going to be more lenient on billing. I know that EPB, which is a local station, local power provider here in my area, they've already said that they are not going to be canceling anyone's service during this time. So if someone's not able to pay on time and they go over, they're not going to shut anyone down. And I think that that's the kind of thing that you will see from a lot of these big companies that can afford to do that. But of course, people need to be reimbursed for that, right? And so I think that we have to look at it in that perspective, right? I'm normally not that guy. You all know me, right? I'm very much a small government guy. But if there's a time where we need more of it, it's in times like this. Within reason, right? Within reason. Let's see. Greta says, I just got an email saying my job is officially closing. I'm going to use the time to make videos and other stuff. I'm very sorry to hear that, Greta. I hope that y'all get taken care of. I hope that y'all, maybe you're getting paid still in the meantime. If not, as I said, I think that there's a lot of people working on trying to get cash and get money to people that are going to be losing out on it. But if we could all support Greta during this time, she has a wonderful YouTube channel. She does not make enough videos because she's working all the time. So if you want to go ahead and subscribe to her channel and give her some love as she's making videos from home, please go ahead and do so, because she's awesome. She's not monetized or anything like that, but just show her some love, show her some support, because she's been a part of the channel for a long time. She's been a friend of mine. I've known her since before I started doing YouTube, and she's an awesome person. And so again, let me know if everything's okay. Bruce says, I'm sure Tina are ashamed, thanks to Kentucky man, that he would not self-quarantine. The state have sheriffs guarding his house because he would not self-quarantine. That's so ridiculous. And those are the times, right? Those are the times when you need to have a bigger state step in and say, no, we're not just going to let you get a bunch of people sick. That's not for the betterment of the culture. All right, jumping back over to DLive. Daniel Thorne says the 6-month waiting period to resubscribe is waived due to CV. Okay, I got you. All right, that's good to hear. So I'll have to look further into those details, though. He also says you can also talk to AMC rep and get them to pause your A-list. Okay, glad to hear that. I hope that they get to an online version of that you can go just onto your account and do it online, because I think that would be the best thing. But we'll have to wait and see on that. Captain Mr. Roy, thank you for the diamond donation and for the 5 ice cream donations as well. I appreciate it, man. Adam says, I see everything being closed down until end of July or August, buddy, from what the president said the other day. Yep. I think that's a very good chance. There's a very good chance that can happen. Now, the big hope is if we can get to summer and the heat builds up, right? Heat, humidity. Apparently, in other parts of the world where it is hotter, that those parts are not being nearly as impacted by CV, or at least it's dying off at a faster rate. So the hope is let's get to the summertime. Let's get to the times when the temperatures start to rise. Then the virus starts to die off more quickly, and then we're able to start getting that downward trend. And then at that point, we can start to try and transition back into normal life. So that's the big hope, right? That is definitely the big hope at this point in time, is that we can do that happening, or rather that we can get that going. All right, let's see here. Also, I think it was the first time. I don't know if it's official yet or not, but Kentucky Derby got delayed as well. It's being pushed back for the first time in a very long time, if not ever. Sasha Neon says, I haven't got pinched today. Grandmaster Yoda says, do you believe? All right. Do you believe in magic? Is that what you were going to ask me? Is that what you're going to ask me? And sadly, it looks like, I'm sorry about that, Grandmaster Yoda. Your comment, it jumped and then it got skipped. So I'm at 7:15 in the chat. It's 7:41 where I am. So I'm about 15, 20 minutes behind or so, like usual. So anyway, much love to everybody out there. Thank you for being patient with me during this time. Let's see. Soul Assassin says, have you heard the rumors of Apple buying Disney? So basically, from what I gather, it's not that Apple is planning to buy Disney. It's that you have experts saying Disney has dropped so much. I want to say one report had it, they've lost a third of their entire value over all of this. They've lost a third of their value. For a corporation like Disney, that's a crap ton, right? A third of any business is a lot. But when you think about Disney, you're thinking of millions, billions of dollars, right? And so the mindset is because stock prices are so low for Disney, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any better because their parks are closed, so they're not getting money from that. Their movies are getting canceled, right? They're still having to run this service, and they're not asking for a whole lot from it. What's going to happen? And so the mindset is, well, Apple's still doing very well. Apple's in a really good position right now. Apple's worth a lot of money. Maybe Apple should buy Disney. Why not? Apple Plus is not succeeding. They could buy Disney and they could buy all of the intellectual property to their streaming service and try and integrate that into their own. So, yeah, to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Apple. All right, I'm not a huge fan of Apple, but I'm also not a huge fan of Disney right now. So to be honest, I wouldn't mind if it happened. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I wouldn't mind it, right? It's not good, but Disney getting bought would kind of be, a diamond in the rough. All right, Bruce says, yeah, we're hardcore. Side Neon says, hardcore, nay, the hardest of core. Did I say hardcore? When did I say that? Oh, are you talking about hard? Oh, when I said that y'all were hardcore fans. Okay, I was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Okay, now that makes more sense. Yeah, that's right. Y'all are the true believers. Y'all the true believers is what it is. JJ's in the chat. What's going on, JJ? I'm wearing green. That's green right there. It's just a darker shade of green. Let's see. Such Neons. Will Sonic be the highest grossing film of 2020? I think that because summer will likely lead to a lot of this stuff being taken care of, a lot of the, cases going down. I would say movie theaters will start to reopen sometime over the summer. And so we'll have a few summer releases from various studios, because obviously the mindset will be, okay, we've got all these movies that were never released that we have ready to release. So we're just going to inundate you with movies. Now, obviously, I think that they're going to try and spread them out to make as much money as possible. But then you're going to have a lot of people that have been home for months now, right? Potentially for months, who have been waiting to get out and do stuff, right? And so then if the movie theaters say, we're the first major things to reopen, come to us, either one or two things is going to happen. Either one, you're going to have a mad rush to theaters, and then you're going to have giant big box office comeback. Or alternatively, you'll have lackluster comeback because people are still not quite sure if they should go out, and maybe, right? And also at that point, what if the studios have released several big movies that have done very well on digital media, on VOD? As I said, if that happens, then that's when we can talk about the death of the theater. But right now, the theater is not really set to go anywhere at this point. But Sonic, I don't think it'll be the highest grossing film of the year. Could it be in the top 10? There's more potential for that to happen now than before. Kamikaze says, LOL FRC. It also says, what we need is hope. Too much info focusing just on cases and the disaster of Italy. This doesn't help. I want to hear about recovery rates, vaccine news, trends, where things are dropping. So the vaccine news is actually looking promising because it's the fastest on record. The first injections in the first set of trials for a vaccine have already happened. I think it happened like a day or two ago. That's the fastest ever, but they need to be tracked for about a year. So we're still about a year out from an official vaccine, but the fact that testing has already gotten in a period of about 30 days or so into the testing phase, like the human testing phase, is huge news, is gigantic news. So we are indeed developing a vaccine at this point, but we don't have a whole lot of information about recovery rates at this point because, as I've mentioned, at least the United States, we're a little bit behind where other parts of the world are right now. And right now, the only country that I know of that's recording, a lot of recoveries and very few new cases is China. And I don't trust them at all. I don't trust those commies with anything. So, I could be wrong on that. Maybe South Korea has had some improvements going on, but I don't really know because we're not really getting a whole lot of news from outside the U.S. right now since we're kind of in the thick of it. Greta says, I had a customer yesterday threaten to cough on us if we didn't fix her problem. WTF is wrong with people. Are you kidding me? Wow. See, that's the moment that I would say, oh, you're going to threaten me? Get the hell out. If I was your manager at that time, right? Because I worked at as I mentioned previously in other videos, I worked as a supervisor at an AMC once, right? So I have a strong connection with AMC. And if customers were acting in that way, I wouldn't give in to them, right? Sometimes my manager would be like, no, you really have to. But I'd be like, I'm sorry, but if a customer comes in doing something like that, like a threatening manner, I'm not going to reward that behavior. So I hope that y'all told them to take a hike. I hope that you told her to take a hike. That's what I hope. Bruce says, I'm only heartbroken about Black Widow being delayed. I've got such a large amount of anime and live action movies to watch, and we're all stocked up on food, even for our kitties. Oh, that's so good for the kitties. Tina says, wait, if someone is licking a toilet seat, aren't they the ones who might get diseased? Their thinking is off, I think, but hey, they're morons. Well, then again, their mindset is, I get sick, but I'm young and impenetrable, right? I'm young and I am undefeatable, right? I'm immortal. I can do anything, right? And so their mindset is, I'll get sick and then I'll pass it on to older people and then they'll die off and the older generation will die. It's sick. It's disgusting. Those people need help. Big help. Father Christopher Miller says, pirates got a pirate, says Father. Kind of want your thought on that. What is your thought on piracy, Father? I want a priest opinion on that. Walter Sobchik says, is pirating movies a sin? Walter, that's the question I just asked for Father. So for me, it's always been under the mindset that it's theft, right? And the commandment says, thou shalt not steal. So my mindset has always been that it would fall into that category. Now, whether it's a venial sin, a minor sin, or mortal sin, that which disconnects us from God, that I think is a little bit unclear. Because, yeah, Father, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. So, Walter, look out for Father's comments. I'm at 722 in the chat. It's 748 right now. So look for Father's comments around 748. Let's see. Father then says, great, now I'm going to have to South Park episode where Catwoman becomes a Somali pirate. where Cartman becomes a Somali pirate. Yes. Great show. Mr. Peabody says, I wouldn't pay $25 for Birds of Prey if the actors came to my house and performed it live. No, I would say, get the hell away from me. I'll pay you $25 to not come to my house. Slicer says, can Biden and Sanders just settle the beef at WrestleMania? Tulsi can be the ring girl who steals the nomination in the last round. No, she should be in the ring with them fighting. That whole thing of them totally ignoring her. They changed the rules, for those not knowing. They changed the rules of the debates so that they could keep the only other person running out of the debates. Everyone else has dropped out. There's one other person other than Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, and it's Tulsi Gabbard. And they changed the rules so that she couldn't actually get on the debate stage. That's how ridiculous they are. WrestleMania is going to be a joke too. They right now they've announced that WrestleMania is scheduled to take place at the Performance Center in Florida and is expected to be done in front of no fans. because of the restrictions. Now, there's a rumor and a conspiracy going on that they're only saying that they will have it because they want to get canceled by the state or county, because then their insurance kicks in and they get money. They get paid for it. So we'll have to wait and see if it actually comes to fruition or not. Bruce says, come November, when the president wins re-election, they will blame CV, and therefore they'll say China and the president colluded to rig and win the 2020 election. You know what? That wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me at all. And yeah, November is going to be extremely interesting because I don't know what's going to happen. Because some could argue, well, if the economy is still in shambles and if we're still in the state of recovery, that could be good or bad for the incumbent. That could be good or bad, right? Because some might say, we don't want to change right now because it's very delicate. We don't need that kind of transition to happen right now. Some might argue, okay, but he didn't do a good job with it, and so therefore let's replace him. So, or on the flip side of it, he did a great job, and we wanted to keep him, right? So there's a lot of different variations to it. So I don't know what's going to happen. Right now, I honestly have no idea what's going to happen in November, right? It's going to be crazy. 70B, what's going on? Stephanie B, welcome back. 70B says, sorry, I was tardy. Hugs. Hugs to you, Stephanie B. Glad you're here. Kamikaze says, we have a drive-in cinema, and every Tuesday it's $20 for the entire car. If everyone is enclosed in their car, no risk of spreading. Yeah, I've heard about that basically the very few drive-ins that are left are having a comeback because they're allowed to exist. They're allowed to operate because you're right. It is safe to be in the car. All right. Mr. Peabody. Greta says, all productions here in NOLA are shut down for 2 weeks, probably more. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me with everything going on down there. Max says, did you see the videos of Biden? No, I've seen the ones of him sniffing people, specifically women. It's very, very creepy. But if that's what we're talking about, then yes. Hybrid X13, appreciate your thoughts, Odin. I can definitely understand those points of view. Theaters can be a special place for viewing cinema, but from a business standpoint, VOD sure packs pressure. It does. It absolutely packs a lot of pressure for sure. JJ says, if they come out with dedicated app per studio rentals at 10 to 15 or charge B25 and let me stream it and drop ship me the 4K, I'm in. All right, so JJ says that if they have it where it's a dedicated app via the studio, so maybe not even just a streaming service, but just an app. Like, here's the other thing too, is that some studios that might not have apps yet, might not have their own service yet, they could just put a lot of money and say, develop an app that's going to be able to take a lot of traffic and host 1 movie, 2 movies, right? 5 movies. A lot less is needed to get that going than to have something like Disney Plus, where you have, hundreds, if not, I guess it would be in the hundreds now at this point of movies. I think a lot of people would feel that way, JJ. Bruce says, when the theaters do reopen, they as a whole will run some long-term discount seating to get people back to, Bruce, if that happens, right, if people are slow going back to the theater, they will absolutely do that. Now, here's the thing, though. Theaters can only do so much because, remember, they have those contracts with the studios. So they do have to still make the ticket price enough so that they can still make money off of it down the road because they don't get a lot of it in the initial run. So you're right. I think that they will start to offer certain programs. I think, if anything, the one thing the theater can control is ticket and beverage and ticket and food. So I could see them saying, come here and spend $20 and you get a ticket and you also get you get a large drink, large popcorn, and a candy bar. Like you basically compile the things together and create different packages where people can say, oh, I can get basically a night at the movies for only $20 or something. I say $20, it could be anything really. But that's one thing that they could have control over is adding food and adding beverages to the tickets themselves. Maybe not adjusting the prices of tickets because that kind of is something that the studios have a lot of say in for a wide variety of reasons. But let's see. Slash Neons. Introverts are the new master race. Enjoy it while it lasts, my fellow recluses, shut-ins, and homebodies. Yeah, I am introvert. So I can't say that I'm, it's one of those things where it's going to be weird to start doing this remote learning, but at the same time too, it's kind of like a happy spot for me too, because I get to stay home. Darkness says, my 16th birthday was last Thursday. Well, happy birthday to you. Happy belated birthday, Darkness. Hardwick says, Jungle Cruise is clearly inspired by The Mummy from 1999. Burly but humorous hero, feisty British scholar, goofy brother, special key, compelling expeditions. I haven't seen the trailer for Jungle Cruise yet, so I couldn't speak to that, but I'm sure you're right. Bruce says, it's funny how the media is going out of its way to not blame China for all of this, even though it's very clear that it originated from China, and because of the actions of China, it spread out all across the world. Right? So obviously, I'll go more tangents about that once everything ties down a little bit, because I don't think it's the time right now to start just blaming people nonstop. But of course, we also need to keep it real. We also need to keep it real. Kamikaze goes, "You fired. You fired." Hypernex 13. Since I'm Gen Z, I pray our generation doesn't follow that toilet licking nonsense to an extreme. Yeah, me too. But people are idiots these days. Bruce says the swab is through the nose. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, it's either all the way at the back of the throat, or it's through the nose, and it's not like, oh, right at the, no, you have to go all the way. Oh, man, yeah, I don't want that. Harwick says they're calling President Trump racist for calling CV Chinese virus. Personally, I'm equally racist against all viruses. I mean, he's not, though. He's talking about what many people called it in the very beginning. It was called the Wuhan virus for a very long time. And so I don't understand why we get so offended by that, but we have so many other cases of, Ebola. Go ahead and look up why we call Ebola. Rob D, we should lock our doors. We should call my nephew. We should dig a moat. We should take Bikini Bottom and push it somewhere else. I'll take that as a SpongeBob reference. Member Alex McCarthy says, did you know Ryan Kinno likes plants and cows? Oh, Lord. That was a great stream. Kamikaze says the media themselves were calling it the China virus or Wuhan flu before Trump did. They are full of poodoo. Yes, they are. You're right. You're right about that. Van V says the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints instituted for the sacrament to be blessed and given by priesthood holders at homes and give to others safely. Yeah, so basically priests in these parishes that are being shut down, at least public sacraments are being shut down, they're allowed to celebrate private masses. That's something that they're always allowed to do. And they're also encouraged to go visit the sick and the elderly to offer them the sacraments as well. It's mostly, I would say, for the regular everyday person who needs to go to confession, right? Obviously, they can call their local priest to get that taken care of, but it's a lot harder when you have those type of restrictions. Edgardo Martinez, what's going on, man? Says, hi, long time since I made it to a live stream. Glad to have you here, good sir. Glad to have you here. Father Chris Miller says, the germaphobe OCD part of me is nervous about the whole thing because I have scrupulous older parishioners who are downplaying the thing and will show up and screw the risks. Yeah, and as I said, Father, I think that we should give people the ultimate choice, though. That's kind of my mindset. And then Father says, but we shut it down for the same reason you're not in the classroom. Yeah. And as I said, it does make a lot of sense. Again, try not to spread things out. To me, though, a church and the sacraments are not the same thing as a classroom. I think the sacraments are so much more important. And you understand that, Father. Ironcaster says, hail Odin. Hail to you, good sir. Tina, thanks for letting them know how to contact me. Father then says, the toilet lickers are probably the same jack wagons that are partying on the beach. Oh, Lord, Florida. Florida, get your act together, man. It's so ridiculous. Ben V then says, I was a missionary in Louisiana. Crazy places. Oh, it is insane. Yivo then says, police have been given the right to arrest the infected here in the UK. Scary times. Yes, absolutely. Kamikaze, small businesses are the heart of the economy. Damn right. Bruce, I've seen a couple of headlines, but didn't read the article. The government is floating the idea of giving everyone the equivalent of a 1-month pay. Yeah, I heard about that, Bruce, as well. We'll see what actually happens. All right, jumping back over to D-Live. D-Live people. Again, things are going crazy today, so I'm trying to keep up. Daniel Thorne says, the Rise of Soy Walker novelization is out today. Are you going to suffer so we don't have to and give us your video review? No, I don't want to read it. I'm so done with Disney Star Wars. Daniel Thorne then says, you know you're not wearing green, right? Normally we'd all be pinching you. I am wearing green, though, so... Adam says, so I saved up to get my passport filled out, paid $250, only for this dang Kung flu to mess up travel plans. Arg, Adam, yeah, man, I forgot. You were traveling. You were going to travel to Australia to visit Mr. Peabody. Have those plans been canceled or is it up in the air? Let me know. Hope everything works out because that is a lot. That is a lot. All right, I've caught up with those people over there. Let's see, Tina. All right, chat jumped on me again over on YouTube. So again, very, very sorry indeed. Let's see, where are we right now? Let's see, where are we anyway? What we got? 72 people watching. Smash that like button, please. Thank you for being here tonight. I know that there's a lot of other streams going on right now. There's a lot of other places that you could be, but I appreciate the fact that you are here. Let's see. All right, so it looks like no comments were skipped on this one. So Tina says, our governor is a useless little man who comes from a political family. And the Kentucky Derby is delayed until September, so you know it's serious. Yeah, absolutely, because as I said, I don't think that's been delayed in a very long time, if not ever. Father Christopher Miller says, really sucks because I bought a ticket to Philly this summer. Ah, no. Super says, yeah, agreed, because going back to comic shops, for example, it's been shocking. Owners are tweeting Marvel and DC, and they're refusing to answer or take product back or refund. That's awful. That's just disgusting. And I think that when you look at Warner Brothers and their attempt to sell Birds of Prey for $25 for a rental, and you look at Disney and all the stuff that they're doing, I'm not really that surprised that the companies that own DC and own Marvel are doing that and treating customers, and actually not even customers, well, actually technically still, but treating the people that sell their product like that and treating them that way. So I think that it would be great for us if we are, because I don't buy comics, I'm not a comics guy, but if you are, support them. Instead of giving your money to someone who maybe sells online or sells through YouTube, I know there's a lot of really, I know all about Comicsgate, and I know that there's a lot of people that you love, but at this time especially, we might need to start looking to trying to support the local businesses and saying, you might not be able to be open right now, but what can I do to help? Can I buy product from you at this point, right? Is there a way for us to work something out where I can still buy from you, but maybe not congregate in your store, right? Try to do the very best that we can. Because if we want those, again, if you're a person that loves a comic shop and you don't want it to go away, that's where the focus needs to be right now. And I hope and pray that the Comicsgate crowd starts doing that, starts raising awareness or trying to raise money for local comic stores, because especially the ones that are run by sensible people, good, hardworking people, I think we need to support them, right? We don't need to support DC or Marvel necessarily, but it's not the fault of the businesses that are sometimes forced to sell those products. So I'm just going to say, I think that we should probably start to transition away from giving money to giant YouTubers and maybe start to transition back over to helping out smaller businesses. That's just my own thought, right? You don't have to do what I say. It's just a thought, though. Tina says, I don't even think in World War II they slowed down the Derby. Damn. Father says, well, hoping I'll still be able to travel. Okay, hopefully. Bruce says, I am laughing at the thought of Disney could be bought by anyone. I know, it's crazy to think that that's where they are right now. Super Anime Gamer. No, Gary's talked about it, but wanted to ask your opinions too. Do you think Ivor saw this coming and that played into him leaving early? I don't think he saw CV coming. I don't think that's the case. I think he just cut out at the wrong time, to be honest. Or for him, I guess you could say at the right time. I think he saw, because now he's getting criticized by certain people. I think he may have saw that coming. But CV, I don't think. I don't think he saw that coming. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think. Grandmaster Yoda says, of Disney is talking about $30 billion loss, but I was thinking if you believe theater closing, episode 9 chance to grab Joker. He says a third of Disney is about 30 billion lost. So I think that with the theaters being closed, Rise of Skywalker has already been announced to get an early release on video on demand. So that's already been pushed up a little bit. So I don't think that box office wise, it's going to be able to catch Joker at this point, because the theaters are shut down. It's not making any money here in the US or most other places in the world. So I think Joker will likely, because of that, end up beating out Rise of Skywalker at the box office to be a higher grossing film. Mr. Peabody says, I am glad AHA came in February. Otherwise, the concert would have been canceled, but we should have closed the borders earlier so Australia could keep them. I see what you mean. Oh, man. Just Joe 47. Vince McMahon still wants to hold WrestleMania at the Performance Center in an empty arena. SmackDown and Raw shows are at empty PC. So weird and awkward. Just Joe 47. You're right, man. I tried watching SmackDown and it was brutally awkward, right? It's one thing to have an empty arena match like The Rock and Mankind from back in the day during the Super Bowl halftime. But to have an entire show, that's why Raw apparently had 2 hours of like clips and packages and only about an hour of on-TV wrestling and personalities, which is kind of interesting. But as I mentioned before, I think the reason why it's still on, and this is a conspiracy, there's nothing to prove this yet, is because they want it to get canceled by the state or local government so that they can get insurance money for it. Kamikaze says, I'd be happy if I lost a third, I've lost 100%. I'm very sorry to hear that, Kamikaze. Grandma Theater says, biggest movie of the year, I believe, will be Top Gun 2 if it comes out at the same time. It should be okay where it's located right now, but again, there's a lot of questions that we don't have the answer to. Slice of Neons, 50 Shades of Green, St. Patrick's Day spinoff. Kamikaze, the plus for me is I don't have any employees to let go. That would kill me inside. So Kamikaze, are you a comic shop owner? Are you a comic shop owner? Let us know. Harwick says, it would be hilarious if President Trump bought Disney. I wonder how many employees would quit and protest. He's not. I know that's a joke, but just for anyone that doesn't know, as president, he doesn't have access to the billions and billions of dollars that the company he was a part of has. So he would not, on his salary as president, would not be able to afford it. Hybrid X13. So do video games have an advantage compared to movies and other stuff, or just about the same with CV? I guess it depends whether buying them online or physically, right? Yeah, that's what it comes down to. I would say that video games are in a better position because they've been doing online releases, like direct online releases. So basically, video games have been doing same day digital and physical for a while now, right? So PS4, Xbox. Obviously, PC mostly is going to be online anyway, but they've been doing that for a while. So they're more likely okay. Obviously, I would say the bigger issue is going to be for collectors that love having the physical copy. And they're not going to be able to get it right now or nearly as easily right now. So it's pushing back production, though. So new video games that were in development, those are getting delayed. And so it is still having an impact on the industry. But as far as direct sales go, it actually is not as bad for them as it is for movies right now. Super says, I don't think fear will matter once stores and theaters open. People will be out. I think it will depend on how deprived of media people are, meaning if they make more available on video on demand. That's also a very good point. Captain Wingster, happy National Irish Holiday, Odin. Where's your green? You dishonor me. It's right here. This is green. It's a dark green, okay? Okay. Kamikaze says, South Korea and Japan are turning. I'm glad to hear that. Super Anime Gamer, oh yeah, you shouldn't trust China with anything related to this. They knew the virus was in their country and unleashed it on the world. They left their borders open. Not just that, though. They silenced the doctors that were trying to warn people about it. They silenced them. They jailed them. That is the kind of people that we're dealing with right now. There's been reports and videos of people being locked into their houses by the Chinese government and dying in those houses. Yeah, if I could say, if there's any time in history where the people need to rise up and overthrow their government, it's China by a huge amount. Tina, thinking you are immortal can lead you to getting yourself killed. Ask some of those Roman emperors like Caligula or Nero. Context, toilet, liquors. Yeah, right, Tina, because no one is immortal. Soul Assassin, piracy is only wrong if you get caught, says Soul Assassin. Slicer says, if it's a movie you believe doesn't deserve your money, does that change the circumstance? All right, so it looks like Father is going to... So this is Father's take on piracy. He says, piracy depends. Example, if I used would be a classic movie I really like is only on VHS and not Blu-ray, then I have no problem since VHSs are rare. Just like the comic website that has... all the classics from 1939 until today. No way I can afford to buy a Superman #1, but if I can read it online for free, I will. Comic shop guy agreed. And I think that's a very good point, right? I think it depends on availability. The other thing too is that let's say that you own a DVD version of the movie. Let's say you own a DVD version of the movie and you decide, okay, well, I want a digital copy of it, and you don't have the technology to rip it yourself or understand how all that works. Then I would say that would also be an example since you technically already own it. Like, for example, I have the Star Wars, the specialized editions, but I also have all of the original releases as well. I own the original movies, right? Obviously, it's not the actual originals. It's the ones that have been played around with forever, but I have them. So that's not the same thing because it's just me getting a different version of the same movie that I've already purchased. So, yeah, I think that's a good point. Good take. Tina says, you said change the rules, and I thought you meant the WWE. I was going to say wrestling has never had rules, but then the Dems have never had rules either. You're right, Tina. You are right. Super says, it's definitely a sin. I've never felt bad about depriving a multi-billion-dollar corporate conglomerate that probably hates me. Father also says, a little hard to explain when I get only 200 characters, and this isn't a short thing to explain. You're right about that, Father. Kamikaze, thank you very much for the Australian $5 super chat. I recommend pre-purchasing a future gift voucher from your local businesses. That will help. Well, there you go. So Kamikaze, one of the many people from Australia right now. So again, I always love my Australian brethren. So he's recommending getting pre-purchasing of future gift vouchers. So I guess gift cards would also be a way of supporting the business as well, Kamikaze, I hope. So buy some if you want to keep and support your local comic artist, if you want to support your local comic shops and local small businesses in general, getting a gift voucher or a gift card sounds like it would help. Okay, glad to hear that, Kamikaze. Thank you for letting us know. Let's see. Captain Wingster says, Odin, don't forget the DNC allowed Bloomberg to qualify to debate, and he admitted to paying off people. Yep. That's the current state of politics today. Hardwick says, what political ideology do pirates ascribe to? Answer, Archism. Father says, then again, if I own it on VHS and it's on Blu-ray, it might be different since you already own the movie. It's complicated. Yeah, that's what the point I was trying to make. Out of step with reality. Member, what's going on? Member, out of step with reality. Kamikaze says, Odin, medical experts here are now considering that younger people and kids have a higher immunity and having less symptoms and pass on a lower potency of the virus. They are currently gathering stats. Well, again, glad to hear that it might not be nearly as bad. That'd be really good to hear. All right, jumping back over to D-Live for a second to catch up with everybody. Adam says, just waiting on this flu to pass. Yeah, I understand, man. Phonema then says, the Joker beats Skywalker, and then a bunch of laughing. Yep. $55 million movie beat a $200+ million movie. Yep. Mimu. It's a funny name. Thanks for following over on DLive. Daniel Thorne, it seems like government is using CV to implement no contact currency, bringing us ever closer to the math of the beast. Matt of the Beast? I don't quite understand that last part. Kathleen High says, I have a copy of Star Wars OT on VHS, still in the cellophane. Thought it might be worth something someday, but the Disney trilogy. Yeah, I totally understand you there. All right. Yep. We got a Turkish person over on DLive. Why are they always from Turkey? I don't understand it. The mark, he says. Right, the mark of the beast. Bringing us closer to the mark of the beast. Okay, I got you, man. Let's see. Father Casimiro says, so excited the Met Opera is streaming free opera classics this week. I hope it continues. Tonight I will be watching La Bohème. Oh, I've never been a fan of opera, but I'm glad that you're happy. Father Casimiro says, I have it queued up and ready to go on my Roku. Boom, son. He also says, used to have season tickets at the Philly Opera. Ooh, very nice. He then says, blame Canada, blame Canada. Let's see. Rob D. If theaters have to, I can see groups of 4 at the movies get 1 large popcorn free and half-price soda or candy. Yeah, as I said, I don't know what they're going to do, but I could see them doing something for sure. Kamikaze, this isn't the first major pandemic from China, by the way. There have been a few. Yeah, it does not surprise me. Slicer says, I prefer calling it the Kung Flu or Fluhan Wu myself. They ban the main name we just come up with funny nicknames. Free speech finds a way. Yeah, you know what the sad thing, too, is that it's not technically a flu. It's actually a cold virus. It's actually the common cold, which I don't think it's the same thing as the flu. Mr. Peabody, give us your expert opinion on that. By the way, Mr. Peabody, his channel, he's been doing a lot of really great medical breakdowns. He has a background as a nurse, and so he has a lot of understanding of how these things work, why they're happening in the way that they are. So he has some really great videos trying to dispel a lot of the nonsense that's been going on right now in the media. Let's see here. Father Chris Miller says, I celebrated Mass by myself this morning and will be live streaming it. Visit the elderly, no way. Nursing home won't let us in. By the way, confession will be done in drive-through parking lot. Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that confessions are still being offered. That's really sad to hear because what if they need last rites? It's really hard to say. I'm very sorry to hear that. And yeah, Father, I saw that you had celebrated Mass this morning. I was very upset that it was not the Latin Mass, though. Shame, Father. I'm kidding, of course. It's an extraordinary form of bust for me. Will Gentry, it seems Philly is having the purge. Burglary, auto theft, vandalism, theft from persons are non-violent offenses now, and you will not be arrested for them, well, at least for now. What? Theft from persons are considered non-violent crimes now? That's insane. What? Yeah, Philadelphia is a giant mess. Giant mess. So ridiculous. All right, chat jumped on me once again. Let's see where we are in the chat. Where are we? Where are we? All right, cool. No comments were skipped. Kamikaze says, no one can enter Australia without being quarantined for 2 weeks. Damn, that's crazy. Wow. Ben V says, watch BTS from Rise of Skywalker on Luke Skywalker. It's amazing to hear Daisy and Mark talk about Luke the way they do. Star Wars Coffee has the whole thing in great quality. What's BTS? Harwick says, have you ever seen Darby O'Gill and the Little People? It's a great movie from the days when the name Disney actually meant something. No, never even heard of it. Slicer says, good on you for skipping episode 9 book. Author is a typical feminist with misandrous Twitter page. Total Kathleen Kennedy clone. Ooh, yeah, no thank you. No thank you. Scott Sullivan, where did you read Birds of Prey was $25 rental? You can pre-order it in 4K for $20. This is a purchase March 23rd. Okay. It was in the article where that was read. It didn't say anything about a purchase, but I'll go ahead. I'll pull it up again. All right, so the date is an electronic sell-through date, feature being available for $19.99 on Amazon, iTunes, and other platforms. So it looks like it will be a purchase. I would not be opposed to putting Birds of Prey on demand. Okay, so yeah, it looks like it is a purchase then. So I misspoke. Thank you. Thank you for the correction. Everyone makes mistakes. Still, $25 for a 4K of a crap movie. Not good on you. And I'm still very much, I don't take anything I said about Warner Brothers back because it's nonsense. Father Christopher Miller says, not many modern comics worth getting today. My comic shop in Lincoln has big archives to choose from. The local comic shop 20 minutes to me only has newer ones. Ooh, yeah. Soul Assassin, did you hear about that guy who ordered thousands of hand sanitizers and couldn't sell them thanks to Amazon stopping him? Yeah, and he's getting prosecuted. So good job, bro. Hope it was worth it. Harvey then says, 2 Catholic boys passed an Anglican priest. One said, hello, father. The other one waited until the priest was gone and hissed, he's no father. He has a wife and 7 kids. Ben V, watch the BT. Okay, got that one already, Ben V. Bruce, just saw a new article pop up. CV now in all 50 states. Yeah, West Virginia was one of the last places to not have any cases. It was only a matter of time before that happened. Wow. Sergeant Neon's late night talk shows might never recover. Yeah, they're still going on in front of no audiences, and they're still spewing their nonsense. It's ridiculous. Calvin Wingster, oh no, I'm a physical collector. Don't worry, Odin. I got all the games I wanted till September. Boom, son. There you go. Father then says, Bernie says America has more people in prison than China. It's true, but it's because we don't kill our prisoners en masse. That's a great point, Father. Oh, that's what's so crazy about him and how he says all these positive things about Cuba and their communist regime, and China and their communist regime. So that's also the main reason why Democrats were like, whoa, run away from this crazy kook. Because, yeah, when you're starting to say positive things about communist regimes that kill their people, and you're saying, oh, well, we have more people imprisoned in the United States than in China. But as Father pointed out, and it's true, it's because they kill their prisoners. They kill a lot more of their prisoners at that point. Soul Assassin, you think the world's dependence on China for medical equipment and stuff will end because of this outbreak? I sure hope so, Soul Assassin. I hope that we get a huge manufacturing boom after all of this, and we start to make our own medicine here stateside. That's what I'm hoping. And the best way to do that, some people might not like it, cut corporate taxes. The reason why people go to China is because their corporate taxes are incredibly low. Just saying. Father says, in a case like you said, yes, I agree. If you own the movie, you own the movie. Exactly. Harvey says, China recently hinted that if any American ships enter the South China Sea, they might attack them with EMPs. Yep, they are ridiculous. Bruce says, I think the mad rush is over. The local big name store, Kroger, I go to is restocking all goods. They were doing it when I was shopping last night. Glad to hear it, Bruce. Yeah, my local store is still very much getting hit almost every single day. But I'm hoping that the mad rush dies down because we don't need a panic. We should be serious. and we should do everything within our power to limit it. It's a serious situation, but we're not at panic levels. It's not like we're all gonna die, all right? But a lot of people will if we don't start taking action now. Super Anime Gamer agreed, like I'm totally sympathetic to wanting to circumvent Marvel and DC, or even some shops based on their behavior, but stores are awesome. Try to shop, buy, and give money if you can. Exactly. If you can, support them. Out of Step with Reality, the member Out of Step with Reality says, just chilling and enjoy the stream. How are you, good sir? Doing well? Yes, doing just fine. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Drunk 3PO just went live. Well, he always goes live around this time, so that's okay. That is okay. Kamikaze, I've got a copy of the original Star Wars movie novel from 1978. Damn, that's awesome. Now that's badass. Hybrid X13, a bit off topic, but have you seen Castle in the Sky? It gave me a Star Wars vibe watching it, and I mean the old Star Wars, not the new ones. No, I have not. Orange Hat Reviews, I just heard that the novel is getting to depict Leia as potentially stronger than Luke if she had been fully trained as a Jedi. Not surprising, all considering it's Disney. Yep. Oh, man. Father Christopher Miller says, wasn't it the Hong Kong flu in 1956? I have no idea. That is a bit before my time. All right, let's see. Tina says, Father is quite right, and I'm thrilled about the Met. And one of my favorites has Wotan in it, a.k.a. Oten. That's right, Wotan. Yes, where Wednesday comes from. Haha. Father says, last rites, yes, we'd get in for that. If I was fluent in Latin, then maybe, but otherwise I'd be focusing on pronouncing the words rather than praying it. Oh, Father, get on that. Get on that, Father. Oh, man. Bruce says, just from what little of them I can stand to watch, I've already seen the left use CV as a reason as why we need the government to control everything. Yeah, and that's ridiculous, right? The government should step in during times like this only, right? This is the only time when having a centralized authority is important to have, right? Having the ability to get all these things going, right, is important to have. But when it's fine, like if it was 2 months ago, no, absolutely not. And the thing that's driving me crazy is that Bernie is trying to say that, well, we're doing this for CV. Why don't we do this for climate change? And it's like, not the same thing, Bernie. Not the same thing. I don't need you saying, well, the planet's going to end in 12 years. No, it's not. Doctors, scientists have been saying that the world's going to end forever. The models are constantly changing. Everything is constantly in flux. So, it just bothers me, right? Even when we're going through a serious situation right now, they have to bring in politics. It's so, drives me crazy. Drives me so crazy. All right, jump back over to D Live. Phonemo says, BTS could stand for behind the scenes. I think that's exactly what it means. So thank you for that, Phonemo. Daniel Thorne, in New Jersey, they're going after someone who fled a hospital with CV, but not going after actual criminals anymore. Yeah, I was about to say, like, you should go after both. You should go after both equally. Let's be sensible here. Phonemo, the panic will start when people get cabin fever. I think that's a better point for sure. Daniel Thorne, I sense there will be a huge increase with incels due to social distancing. It's potential. For those who don't know, incel is not just a random insult that crazy SJWs like to use. It's actually something where people basically choose to not get into relationships. So it's an actual thing too. For those that didn't know, there's your fun fact of the day. It's an actual real thing that people embrace. Sasha Neons, I guess the first world is giving up leaving their houses for Lent. Really long Lent. Yeah, absolutely. Father Christopher Miller says, yes, Darby O'Gill, one of Sean Connery's earliest movies. Nice. Ben V clarifies, BTS behind the scenes. It's nice to hear them politely trash on Luke from Last Jedi. That is great to hear. It was a terrible character, right? It was a terrible movie, terrible character. Zine Waters, Darby O'Gill and the Little People as a young Sean Connery, good film. Kyler Wingster, and all I'm saying is General MacArthur wanted to keep pushing in China after gaining a foothold in North Korea, and we could have let him. Damn. That's old school. Ben V, favorite new TV show recently? I liked most of Doom Patrol. That's somewhat recent, I would say. I loved Swamp Thing. I'm so sad Swamp Thing got canceled. Actually, Swamp Thing, I believe, is on sale right now. It says the whole series was only one season. But that's on sale for it's either $10 or it's $20. Either way, I personally think it's a good deal on Blu-ray. But those were some pretty good ones. Sachin says, I just saw a commercial for Koala Kai Dojo. Their motto, strike soft, strike slow, show mercy. That sounds awesome. Tina says, others had also been saying it was a rental for $20, so I guess they read it incorrectly too. You're fine. Context. Well, thank you, Tina. So I'm not the only person that said that. And I think the reason why is because every movie so far that's been released for an early on-demand release has been a rental for the most part. Hardwick says, Darby O'Gill and Little People is a charming movie about an elderly Irishman and some leprechauns. It was also one of his first movies. Oh, that's very nice. Kamikaze, I just had a thought. Does that mean we are going to see the return of fake candid laughter on TV? Oh, Lord, I hope not. It's so cringe every time it happens. It is so cringe. Father Christopher Miller says, I once asked my students on a test in my church history class, true or false, Joseph Stalin wasn't a bad man. He was just misunderstood. Sadly, one kid marked true and got it wrong. Hey, well, you know what? It's better than at my old school where I had a student who I believe is a senior this year who asked me the question on a test, hey, is Christ the same person as Jesus? He was a football player. So, yeah, I think we've all had that case of a student go, we would just go, really? Really? The other one is that my kids this year, and I do it almost every year at some point, whenever I need like one more question, I'll like add an extra true false and I'll just say like this answer is true. So I put this answer is false. And it made my kids go through this like crazy existential crisis where they were like, well, Mr. Hurt, like they were just like, oh, well, you know what? It's technically true because if it's false, then that means it's true because the answer is false. And so like they're going crazy thinking about it. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Hardwick says, if drive-in theaters were still around, movie releases could go on like normal. You're right. You know what? That would be, if there's anything great that could come out of this whole thing, if we could have like AMC or Regal start building some drive-in theaters, that would be awesome. That would be cool. That's one thing I wish we could actually get back to. Will Gentry says, China is out of control. They're invading sovereign lands in the South China Sea, doing illegal oil exploration in Africa, encroaching on other sovereign lands. There's something brewing, yeah. And a virus that mysteriously came out of nowhere and affected most of the world. Hybrid X13, random share when European settlers arrived in the U.S., the fowl bird turkey was named as it was because there was a similar looking fowl that had been present in Turkey. Turkeyception. Ooh. Hardwick, a few months ago, they made an Australian tourism advertising featuring Kylie Minogue. Something tells me it's not going to pay off. Glonald Dover, your Bernie voice is on point, senpai. Thank you, Glonald Dover. I appreciate it, man. I do the best that I can. Father Christopher Miller says, knowing with Nick Cage is an awesome end-of-the-world movie. I've seen it. Ben V. Had a science teacher who slammed down the doomsdayers. There's way too many variables to predict all this stuff. Bernie should be dropping out soon as he has no hope to win. And then Ben V says Trump 2020. Yeah, and I think that he doesn't really have a path. But as I was arguing earlier, and I don't know, let me see. I think Florida ended up going through with its primary. So, oh, look at that. All right. So apparently Florida is still going out. Joe Biden with 77% reporting has gotten 61.4% of the votes. Bernie Sanders got 22.7%. Mike Bloomberg and Pete Buttigieg still got votes. Something tells me that's because of early voting. But that's interesting. That's interesting because I thought for sure that because people are staying home, presumably, that you might actually see a Bernie surge. But Florida was one of the big ones tonight, so we'll see if any of the other places pop up. But my thought process is the only way that Bernie could potentially win is if the older people are being quarantined in some of these states and he has crazy believers that are going to vote for him no matter what. You could potentially see some differentiation there. Let's see. Tina says, my old crime scene unit told me domestic violence is up. I told them, of course they are. These people don't quit fighting at Christmas and Thanksgiving. That's really sad to hear. Father Christopher Miller says, I wasn't allowed to watch the day after in 83 because I was only 9. Okay, so you were talking to someone else. I always get confused because I'm like, I see the very beginning, so I think you're talking to me, but then I see that you text someone else halfway through. Let us see here. All right. Father Christopher Miller says, I love Doom Patrol's Ezekiel the Cockroach voiced by Curtis Booger Armstrong. Yes! So good. Tina says, isn't that why he's called Jesus Christ? Context, stupid students. So it's funny because some people call him, like some people think that Christ was his last name, and it wasn't. Christ means the Savior. So basically it's a title, right? So that's why it was called Jesus, son of David, or Jesus, son of Joseph, or Jesus of Nazareth. They didn't have last names then. So yeah, but he was like, is Jesus the same person as Christ? Hmm? All right, Father has something to add to that. He says, is Christ the same person as Jesus? Oh, I would give that kid a WTF stare in silence for a minute or two and then mock him. Yeah, I was judging him for a long time. For a long time after that. Let's see. Phonemo. The world is going to end when the sun expands and swallows the earth in like 4 billion years. Phonemo, that's what I think. If you had to ask me now, how do I think the world's going to end? Either a random asteroid's going to hit us, like a gigantic asteroid's going to hit us, or the sun's going to expand because the sun's dying. So that's definitely, I would say, the place we're going to go. Global warming might have an impact, but it's not going to destroy us. Just give my thoughts on that. PETA, what's going on, PETA? Thank you very much for following. Captain Dean Height says, can CV be a catalyst to get voting on the internet? I sure hope not, because that's asking for so many problems. I did not, yeah. PETA then says, some don't realize Catholics are Christian. Yeah, it is interesting. There are definitely people out there that think that way. It's fascinating to hear. I don't quite understand it. Father Chris Miller says, or I would play the Billy Madison, may God have mercy on your soul clip. That has to be the dumbest question. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. Glinzer says, if you think people misbehave in a theater, drive-ins are the wild, wild west. Here's the difference, though. You're in your own car. And so if people are, yelling and screaming in their car, you can't hear it. So that's the thing I like about it, because you still get that kind of like social experience as well. But also, if you do it like old school way, where you actually get the little thing you put in your window and then roll your window up, you could have some pretty decent sound too. So, Rob D, I would put as a final true false question, McDonald's is better than Burger King, just to see what the majority prefers. The problem is that I normally do Scantrons, and so I'd have to choose one of them as a correct answer. Yeah, but that'd be funny just to see them, like, that'd be funny just to see their response, though. Oh, man. Let's see. Someone in the chat, Harrison says, so AMC, AMC, AMC. I've already talked about AMC. I've been going for an hour and a half, man. So if you're just joining, you're not talking about AMC. Yeah, because I already talked about it. So let us see here. Stephanie B, thanks for letting them know how to contact me. Ben V says, favorite non-Disney animated movie? Ooh. Because it's always hard to think about one that's specifically a non-Disney movie. Technically, was Toy Story was a Pixar film. Was that in conjunction with Disney, or was that before they started working together and then before Disney actually bought Pixar? So if that's the case, then I'd probably say the first Toy Story. Tina says, Christ is his last name. Sorry. Oh my gosh. Yeah, seriously. It's so ridiculous. Peter says drive-ins would be great. Wendy's is fantastic. Yeah, Wendy's is fantastic. Five Guys are in and out, says Adam. Yeah, those are okay. I'm a Popeyes guy. Popeyes is my jam. And Adam, you actually know what? I like Arby's too. But Popeyes, that's my jam. That is my jam. Father Christopher Miller says EMP would kill 3/4 of our population in a short time. Yeah, it would be really bad. However, next routine, I hate to sound political, but just wanted to ask, do you think Korea will ever unite one day or always remain North and South? In my opinion, even if they do, it's too late. Basically, the only way that's ever going to happen is if the people of North Korea rise up against their government, which is a hard thing to do because they have the military on their side. So basically, you need like a military coup, and it needs to be by someone that doesn't want to hold on to power. And so they take over the power and then give it back to the people. But whether that happens or not, really hard to say. Really, really hard to say. Let us see here. Will Gentry says, don't lie to us. We all know he has Mr. Christ, Mr. J. Christ, and 3 Manger Street, Bethlehem. Or that's who that Nigerian prince told me to send all my money to anyways. Let's see. Harrison says, AMC, what in first 10 minutes? So 1.5 hours later, you cannot repeat. It's in your title. Harrison, oh, you're so salty. You're so salty, bro. You come into a stream that you've never been on before. So you obviously don't know how things work here. I've already mentioned it. It's in the title, by the way. It says literally AMC and Regal shut down. What's not to get? It's in the title of the video, man. AMC theaters have shut down. There. I repeated it. It's in the title. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Use your head. Rob D. Favorite animated non-Disney movie, The Iron Giant. It's a good shout. Greta says Toy Story was released by Walt Disney Pictures. Was it really? Huh. See, that might be what it says now, though, because in retrospect, I don't know. So, Neon, Song of the Sea and Cookout are my votes. Song of the Sea is fantastic. Fantastic. Let us see here. Hardwick says, Huddle House had fantastic burgers, but the location near me closed. Never heard of Huddle House. Superman Gamer, funny you say that because I think there's a chance of us having a run-in with a meteor this summer. It has apocalyptic capabilities. Watch us conquer CV just to get hit. JK, knock on wood. Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen, man. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Souls asks, remember your training at the Jedi Temple. All those who gain power are afraid to lose it. This is true. Hardwick says, how high does Batman Mask of the Phantasm rank among your favorite animated movies, if at all? I have not seen that movie, so I can't rank it. Captain Wingster, Odin, I hear that, hey, Zeus led the Jews from Egypt. My religion history learning is a bit vague. Wait, what? Will Gentry, best non-Disney animation film is easily Transformers the movie. You mean the original, animated version? Oh, Lord. And because I see it, John Taylor, next time just tag me, Odin question. He says, think Song of the South will ever get released? No. Not under this current administration of Disney. There are HD versions out there. Hardwick Bentho sent me a couple of ways to find it. I think you can find it on Archive. So you have Archive where it's the Wayback Machine, etc. There's some copies of the movie there. But that's one where, they just never had an official release. But someone found a 35mm copy and did a 4K scan or whatever, they did some type of scan and transfer. So it is technically available. All right. Oh, Lord, what has he got here? Harrison, last when I was at AMC on Saturday, they told us 50% of the seats would be sold. So fully shut down in your title is ambiguous at best. No. It says AMC and Regal shut down. It's very, very clear. Just because you can't understand that, it's not my problem. Let's put it this way, Harrison. I don't like salt in the chat. So keep the salt out, bro. Keep the salt out because I can return the salt. You give me salt, I'll return it right back on you. All right, but anyway, let's see. How many people do we have in here? 60. All right, we'll do a giveaway. So if you have 2 hours of watch time on the channel, and if you're here, if you're a regular, you know how to handle it. We're gonna do a giveaway. We're gonna do some digital copies, some digital codes. So I've got a long list of digital codes to give away. And let me just go ahead and read off the list of what I have. That way you can know whether you want to even enter into this giveaway or not. So it's going to be a channel-wide giveaway, but you have to have at least 2 hours of watch time, which means you have to be a regular on the channel in order to be able to win. And I'll go ahead and I'll give away several. So here's the list of movies that I have. And no, I guess technically it's in alphabetical order, but I have 101 Dalmatians, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Aladdin, the original, Alice in Wonderland, Alien 3, Alien Covenant, Alien Resurrection, Aliens, Alita. I have 3 copies of that. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Batman Beyond the series, so the entire Batman Beyond series, Big Hero 6, Black Panther, Blade Runner Final Cut, Bumblebee, Cars 2, Cars, Chicken Run, Doctor Sleep, Dumbo, E.T. Flushed Away, Ford v Ferrari, Fox and the Hound 1 and 2, Godzilla King of the Monsters, Home Alone 2, Home Alone, How to Train Your Dragon 3, Interstellar, Into the Spider-Verse, Jumanji, Jurassic Park, Leprechaun Returns, Monsters Inc., Monsters University, Oz the Great and Powerful, terrible movie, Peter Pan, Pinocchio, Rambo, 5 Film Collection, Schindler's List, Shazam, Sleeping Beauty, Spider-Man Homecoming, Taken 3, Taken 2, Taken, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3, Original Toy Story, the entire Tremors collection, Wallace and Gromit and the Curse of the Were-Rabbit, Wizard of Oz, the original, Zombieland Double Tap, Zombieland, and Zootopia. A crap ton, as you can tell. So if any of those sounded interested to you at all, you can go ahead and enter into this giveaway. So let me try and get my giveaway bot all up. Super says, could you please explain how digital codes work for us physical media supremacists? So the one last thing I need to say about it is that this is going to be for U.S. people. So only people that are in the U.S. So sorry to all of my people from across the world. These codes will only work in the U.S. though. So that's why I have to say it that way, because we've had it before where people have won digital codes and then they were from a different country, and so it didn't work. But again, you have to be in the United States to be able to enter into this giveaway. But again, tons of stuff. But anyway, that's how it works, Super. So thank you for asking that question. I appreciate it. Tina says, I received an email from AMC stating they were shutting down completely and apologizing for this. Yep. It's been in the email. It's been in the news. And also it's in my title. It says AMC and Regal shut down. Not 50% shut down. I don't clickbait, bro. I'm not the person that says AMC maybe possibly shut down, ? I say very clearly, AMC and Regal shut down. Just because you didn't understand that, it's not on me. Superman Gamer, you haven't seen Max of the Phantasm? My dude, it's the Batman animated series movie. It's legit one of the best Batman movies. Watch it, please. I definitely plan to. Let us see here. All right, so explain that. Super, are you really giving away all the Batman Beyond? Thank you, Odin. Thank you for whoever donated. Yeah, so shout out to Jace Doe. You see him in the chat sometimes, but whenever he gets a movie in, he does not keep his digital codes. He emails them to me. Like, he sends me like 5 to 10 digital codes every time. And so huge shout out to Jace Doe for sending it my way. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. Oh, Lord. I'm not even going to respond to that anymore. If you're going to be an ass, then I'm not going to respond to you. So, yes, I did mention Ford v. Ferrari, Tina. I did mention it. So, again, you have to be in the United States in order to enter into this giveaway, sadly. But let me go ahead and get it all set up. So, this will be for a digital code, and I'll give away several. It'll be first come, first serve, though. So again, hopefully you were paying attention as I read through that list, so that way you have an idea of what to ask for when I ask, because if you win, I'm going to expect you to accept the victory. You cannot gift it to anyone else. If you win, if you enter in, you have to take a prize. All right. You can't give it away to anyone. All right. Cause it just causes a lot of stress on my part. But also you have to let me know which movie you want. If you want me to read through it again after you win, I will, but I'm only going to do it once. So whoever the first person that asked me to read it through, who doesn't have a movie in mind, that is how it's going to work, all right? So anyway, digital code, these are for regulars only. The cost of the ticket will be 25 digital cookies. The max number of tickets you can get is 100. So the way it's going to work is once it goes live, it's not live yet. Once it goes live, you'll put enter exclamation point. Enter exclamation point. You'll then put a space. You'll press your space bar once. Then you'll put in a number. The number that you're putting in there is how many tickets you want to buy. So the max number you can put in is 100. However, it costs 25 digital cookies. You get digital cookies just by watching the streams. So if you put cookies, if you put exclamation point cookies like all these awesome people in the chat are doing, it tells you how many hours you have, and it tells you how many cookies you have. So for example, Out of Step with Reality has 4,995 cookies. So that means that he could probably enter in and put 100 tickets in, because 100 times 25 is, actually, no. Scratch that. Yeah, 100 times 25, would that be 2,500? I can't math. Yeah, 2,500. So he could put in for 100 tickets. However, if someone else had less than that number, so for example, Thanatos, you only have 1.17 hours, so sadly you are not eligible for this giveaway. You have to have 2 hours of watch time. You have to be a regular on the channel in order to enter into it, because it's my way of trying to reward those people that are here every week, watching the content, staying with me. Again, it all makes sense. But anyway, the giveaway is now open, so hopefully that all made sense to you. Just listen to Heimdall. There you go. There are all of the instructions there. Kevin the Speedster, I don't get it. Just follow Heimdall. And also, the people that have done this before, just follow their lead. So Orange Hat Reviews, that did it. So Orange Hat Reviews did it right. So you see how he did enter exclamation point, and then he put a space, and then he put 100. So that means that he got 100 tickets. It cost 25 cookies a ticket. which means he had over 2,500 cookies. If you put in a number that's too high, it's not going to register. If you put in for more tickets than you can afford, it's not going to register. That's why I read off the people that have been registered. So Orange Hat Reviews, I got you for 100. Father Christopher Miller, I got you for 100. Frank and the Clan, I got you for 100. Greta, I have you for 100. Super Anime Gamer, I have you for 100. Tina, I have you for 100 as well. Slicer Neons, I have you entered in for 100. Dean Heiss, I got you for 100 as well. Captain Wingster, I got you for 100. CWD Trixie, I also have you for 100 as well. So those are the only people that have been registered so far. If I did not say your name, it has not been registered. And it means that you might not have enough cookies. Glonald Dover, or you didn't enter in the words correctly. So Glonald Dover, I got you in for 100. Stephanie B, you cannot enter in 200. Again, 100 is the max. 100 is the max, Steph. You can't put in 200. And I'll be giving away several. All right, I'll be giving away several. 10987. I always love when people put in like the random things. Also, if you're over on DLive, because I want to take care of my DLive people too. If you're a regular on the channel, so if I've seen you here before tonight, so you've been in at least 2 streams, just put in enter on DLive. You have to be from America, though, to enter into it, sadly. I'm sorry to my UK and Australian brethren. I'll do another giveaway at some point in the future, but the digital codes only work in the US, sadly. So 70B says, I bid $1, Bob. Tina, it's okay. I figured that she was probably playing around. All right. K-Man, I got you. Adam, I got you. Cool. Cool. So I'll give away a code over. So I'll give away a few on YouTube first to take care of them. And then I'll switch over to DLive and I'll do both of y'all will probably end up winning because y'all are the only 2 over that have entered in. But yeah. All right. Anyway, we are closing. All right. So on Glonald Dover, I have you. 70B, I have you. JKD Buck 76, I got you as well. All right. So we are now going to be closing the giveaway in 3, 2, and the giveaway is now closed. The giveaway is now closed. You cannot enter anymore. Entries have stopped. All right. So the first winner, let me go ahead and get a piece of paper so that way I can write this down. Otherwise, I'm just going to forget it. Because Odin's mind is just, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. All righty. So, winners. All right. So, the first winner on YouTube of Digital Copy Code. Have your movie in mind and be ready to claim it. First winner is Orange Hat Reviews. Orange Hat Reviews. Claim your prize. Claim your prize, Orange Hat. And let me know which movie you want. Or TV show, because obviously there were a couple of TV series there as well. Claim Rambo. All right. So the Rambo 5-movie collection, I believe, is what it was. Cool. All right. So Rambo is off the table. Rambo is off the table. But don't worry. We'll have more winners. We'll have more winners. Let me just go ahead and check my ledger one more time just to make sure. Yeah. Rambo 5-film collection. Boom. Congratulations, good sir. All right, the next winner over on YouTube is Greta. Greta, congratulations. Claim your prize. Greta, claim your prize. Some people probably ticked off saying, damn it, I wanted that. Damn it, I'm not a doctor. Congratulations, Greta. She claims. Awesome. You have claimed it. Which movie do you want? I have a mind of where you might go. Let's see if it matches up. Or you could just go completely obscure. You could say Tremors, which would be very obscure for you, Greta, but something tells me that you already had one in mind. And remember, if anyone... Viv is on. I love Hey Viv. Hey Viv is fantastic. I'm going to need that list again. Cool. All right, so there is the request. So this will be the only time I will repeat. All right, so I'll say it a little bit slower this time. All right, so 101 Dalmatians, the original. 2001, A Space Odyssey. Aladdin, the original. Alice in Wonderland, that's also the original. Alien 3. Alien Covenant. Alien Resurrection. Alien. Aliens. Alita Battle Angel. I have 3 copies of that. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Batman Beyond, the entire series. Big Hero 6. Black Panther. Blade Runner, The Final Cut. Bumblebee. Cars and Cars 2. Separate codes there. Chicken Run. Dr. Sleep. Dumbo. E.T. Flushed Away. Ford v. Ferrari. Fox and the Hound 1 and 2. That's 1 code. Godzilla King of the Monsters. Home Alone 2. Home Alone. How to Train Your Dragon 3. Interstellar. Into the Spider-Verse. Jumanji. That is the original film. Jurassic Park. Leprechaun Returns. Monsters, Inc. Monsters University. Oz the Great and Powerful. Peter Pan. Pinocchio. Schindler's List. Shazam. Sleeping Beauty. Spider-Man Homecoming. Taken 1. Taken 2. Taken 3. Separate codes there. Toy Story. Toy Story 2. Toy Story 3. Also separate codes there. The entire Tremors collection. Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Wizard of Oz. Zombieland Double Tap. Zombieland, and Zootopia. All right, I'm not going to repeat the list again. So Greta, which one you did? So what movie did you have in mind? Says Greta. What movie did I have in mind? What do you... Oh, I meant the movie I didn't think that you would claim. Oh, the movies that I thought you would. So Wizard of Oz would be one I thought that you would probably claim. Ford v. Ferrari. Basically anything classic or Oscars. That's what I'm thinking. At least that's what it seems like to me. That's what it seems like you choose to me. But anyway, I need a choice, Greta. Or I choose someone else. Or I choose somebody else. Yeah, Peabody, thank you, man. Member Peabody says, all good, Odin, not your fault. The codes are regional. Yeah, I mean, I wish that the codes that they gave were international. That'd be awesome, because then I could give them away to anybody. Greta says, you gave me Wizard of Oz before. I'm going to go with Jurassic Park Classic. Boom! Going with that Jurassic Park Classic. Perfect. All right. All right, we're going to choose another winner. All right, so the third winner over on YouTube is Father Christopher Miller. Hail, Father. Father, claim your prize. Claim your prize, Father. Claim it. Claim it, good sir. That was a very good one, though, Greta. Like that. Like that. That's right. You did win the Wizard of Oz. I forgot about that. That was one of the Blu-ray giveaways that I had. Hail to you, Father. Which movie do you want? Boom! Father's going with Ford v. Ferrari. No! These are digital codes, Greta. Yes. So, Greta, I can actually probably text you the code. But if you want to email me, you can email me. If you want to DM me on Twitter, you can DM me on Twitter. Whatever is the best for you. Just contact me at some point tonight, soon, and then I'll send you the picture of the code. So, but yeah, these are all digital codes. So Father is taking Ford v. Ferrari. I know that was probably a hot ticket item for a lot of people that don't already have it. All right, Ford v. Ferrari. Awesome, Father. All right, so we're going to do one more on YouTube. We're going to then go to DLive, and then we're going to come back to YouTube. All right, we're going to give away a bunch of copies tonight. So if you entered in, don't worry. You still got some time. All right, so the next winner on YouTube is Dean Heiss. Dean Heiss, claim your prize. Claim your prize. Dean Heiss, claim your prize. Claim your prize. Tina, it would have been hilarious if your name had gotten called right after Father claimed Ford v. Ferrari. Oh, that would have been perfect. Congratulations, Dean Heiss is here. Which movie do you want? And remember, I'm not repeating it again. So I hope you remembered some of those movies. If not, you need to go back and listen. I try and be as fair as I possibly can. Yeah, Father, don't feel bad, because Tina's going to have access to that movie very soon because her brother's probably going to buy it. Blade Runner, the final cut. Boom. All right. Good choice, Dean. So Blade Runner, final cut. The best version of the film, I would argue. All right. I had 2 people enter over on DLive. And so, therefore, I'm just going to... Both of them are going to win. So, Adam, claim your prize. Claim your prize, Adam. Claim your prize. And YouTube, I'll be coming back to y'all in a second. So, Adam, over on DLive, are you still around? Are you still there? Or have you abandoned me to take care of the dogs? Claim your prize, Adam. Batman Beyond. Oh, that's another one that I bet a lot of people wanted. All right, Batman Beyond series off the table now. Damn, son. Ooh, that's brutal. Adam, that's brutal, bro. All right, and the K-Man. K-Man, claim your prize, good sir. Claim your prize, good sir. Claim it. Is the K-Man still listening over on DLive, or has he abandoned me as well? Tremors Collection, another one. There we go. I was wondering when someone was going to be a Tremors fan. So the Tremors Collection. Boom, son. All right, cool. All right, I'm heading back over to YouTube now. YouTube peeps. Let's go ahead and pick another winner here. Slicer Neon. Slicer Neon, claim your prize. Slicer Neon, claim your prize, good sir. Claim it. I see Slicer in there. A lot of F-bombs. Yeah, I imagine. Congratulations, Slicer Neons. Claim it. Claim it. I see you in the chat, man. I know there's a delay, though, so I'm assuming that's the reason why. Yeah, I've heard great things about Batman Beyond as well. I've actually been sent a couple of codes with that. ZK-Man, thank you for the diamond donation. He says, thank you. Oh, no, thank you, good sir. Thank you, kind sir. No, thank you, kind sir. All right, Slicer, man, you're talking about Valks, but you're not talking to me. All right, Slicer, are you claiming the prize or not, man? What? Oh, he says, I claim Stephanie B. You're all invited to the wedding. No, that's not how this works. All right, the Valkyrie cannot be claimed. All right, the Valkyrie cannot be claimed here. Oh, man. I just saw that. Yeah, I just saw what he claimed. Bumblebee. Till all are one. All right, there you go. Bumblebee is off the table. Was not a fan of that movie. Hopefully you are. So, we shield maidens can't be claimed. You're damn right. All right, we'll do 2 more on YouTube. All right. The next winner is CWD Trixie. CWD Trixie, claim your prize. CWD Trixie, claim your prize. Good shot. Alex McCarthy says, I claim the movie blog. You can't. It doesn't exist. You can't claim what doesn't exist, man. All right? You can't do it. You can't claim it. Heartbroken, says Slicer. Was The Last Jedi one of the prizes? I don't believe so. I don't think Jace went down that road, but I'll look again. No, The Last Jedi is not a part of it. Fox and the Hound. That's a good one, man. And that comes with 1 and 2. Fox and the Hound, the first one, made me cry so much when I was younger. I haven't watched it since I was younger, but I imagine it probably would do it as well. Harvick says, I checked out Gary's stream. He's complaining about the new Warriors comic book is introducing woke superheroes named Snowflame and Space. But, oh, Snowflake. Oh, no. I thought it was Snowflame. Snowflame. Who just sounds like an awesome character. All right, and the last winner over on YouTube. The last winner on YouTube is JKD Buck 76. JKD Buck, claim your prize. JKD Buck, claim your prize. Yeah, Snowflake, that's pretty bad. That is pretty bad for Snowflake. He claims it. Cool. What do you want? And remember, I'm not repeating the list again. I'm not repeating the list again. So, JKD Buck, what do you claim? Odin's choice. Oh, okay. Are you sure about that? Because here's the thing. It can't really be my choice, because if it's my choice and you already have it, I'm going to be here for a long time. So JKD Buck, I need a solid choice here. I need a solid choice. Because I would just go with one of the Alita movies that I have, but something tells me that you might already own it. So, what do you have in mind? Father Christopher says, it's Schindler's List for you. It's a solid movie. It is a solid movie, that's for damn sure. I don't. I choose Alita. Perfect. Perfect. You'll love it. If you've never seen it before, it's a fantastic movie. Cool. Well, I hope that you all enjoyed that for my winners. So once again, Orange Chat Reviews, Greta Z, Father Christopher Miller, Dean Heiss, Adam and the Clan, K-Man, Slicer Neons, CWD Trixie, and JKD Buck 76. Please contact me. A couple of y'all can direct message me on either the Discord or on Twitter. Otherwise, you can email me, odinsmovieblog@gmail.com. Email me, contact me, like pretty much right now over the next 5 minutes or so. That way I can send out all of your copies out tonight. Try and make sure that everything works and try and work with you if there's any issues. But again, they're all U.S. codes, so as long as you're in the U.S., there should be no problem. But obviously, we know that sometimes things can happen. But anyway, thank you so much. Again, contact me so that way we can get y'all taken care of with those movies. Please, again, if you are here and you did not win tonight, think about sticking around, because every now and then I do these random giveaways. I had a lot of digital codes that were being built up. I've done a lot of giveaways over on my Patreon Subscribe Star. So if you're members over there, I've been doing a lot of 4K and Steelbook giveaways over there. So if that's the kind of thing that interests you, if you're a $5 or up backer on Patreon or Subscribe Star, you get access to those, I guess one could argue, higher tier giveaways, which I try and do at least about 3 or 4 of those a month. And then I'm going to do another digital code giveaway dump over on those sites as well before the end of the month. But yeah, thanks for being here tonight. I know that there was a lot of content going on tonight, so thank y'all for being here. Only had a couple of salty people in the chat, but that's okay. It happens. So if you couldn't tell from the title, again, just as a recap, AMC and Regal have both shut their theaters down indefinitely, essentially. So for at the very least a month, we're not going to have any movies coming out. That means that studios like Disney have had to push their movies back, including Black Widow, which is no longer getting a May 1st release date. Other films, of course, have already been announced to be delayed. And we, of course, have a gigantic influx of new movies coming onto video on demand starting this Friday. And do not be surprised, especially now that all the major chains, so Regal, AMC, Cinemark as well, and others too, because they are now closing down, don't be surprised if you see some other movies, possibly even some big movies coming out onto demand services. It'll be interesting to say the least. Again, this is something that we've talked about on this channel for a very long time now, about what the future of the film industry is going to look like, what the future on-demand comments are going to be. It's going to be crazy. Will Gentry, I see what you're doing there. He says, what? AMC is closed? Why didn't you tell me? I love it. I love you, Will. Will, you're a legend, man. I appreciate it. Bruce, you have a good night. Let's see. High Council is on Mecha Random's channel. Great person. So thank you very much for letting me know that. Bruce, have a good night. Will, have a good night as well. Hardwick, now that I think of it, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had a character named Snowflake. She was pretty fun, actually. I don't remember that. Orange Chat, DM'd you on Twitter. Have a great night. Awesome, dude. I'm going to check that in a second. But anyway, you guys are all amazing, beautiful people. Thank you for being here tonight. Adam is just dropping a bunch of 6 lemons on the chat. He's up to 8 lemons, 9 lemons, 10 lemons. Dear Lord. Always just going after me with that. Come on, man. I had to my office brother, says Adam. That is true. That's a good point. You do love Batman. Love you too, man. The K-Man, thank you for the 2 ice cream donations as well. But anyway, that's going to be it. Wait, what? What about AMC? Says Slicer. I love you guys. So many people alive right now. I can't really point you in one direction or the other because there's all really great channels. Captain Dean Heiss, thank you very much for the 3 ice cream donations. You're awesome. But anyway, that's going to be it for me tonight. Please stay tuned. Saturday stream is up in the air right now. I have to do a little bit of traveling because wife lost a member of her family. we're okay. You know, she's doing fine. But the extended family wants us to be there. So we are going to be traveling over the next couple of days. So we're heading out on Thursday. So please keep us in your prayers because we'll be traveling. And obviously right now is a very dangerous time to travel. We're going to We're going to Missouri. So we should be okay because I don't think there's a whole lot of cases going on in Missouri right now. But please do keep us in your prayers. Nonetheless, 70B then says, does AMC know Dway? But because of that, we're coming back on Saturday. I don't know when we're leaving Saturday. We're driving there. So I don't know exactly what time we'll get back, but just stay tuned to that. And thank you so much for those prayers. I really do appreciate it. So thank you. Will Gentry says, yeah, my mom lost her mom today. Oh, man. So praying for you and your family because I know that's rough. Tina, thank you very much. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for your condolences. Bruce, thank you. You were driving right through here. Super says, my condolences to Freya. Stay safe. You too. Have a great week. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you very much, man. All right. Anyway, thank you all. K-Man, thank you. Captain Heist, thank you. Adam, thank you as well. You guys are all amazing, beautiful people. Thank you for being here tonight. And as always, God bless. And now to give a special shout out to my March Patreon and Subscribe Star members: animation commentator Brian P., Dion, David Brobrizik, Divex, Elizabeth M., Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, Hail Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Honker Chonker Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, JJ Jonathan Jerembeck, Kenneth Camiel, Lady T, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Riff Magos, Riff Racer Request, Rosetta Allen, Sir Lancelato, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, The DJD Show, and Tina B for Patreon, and my Subscribe Star peeps, Robert Revo, Larry, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2 Cool 99, Dark Star 57, Alex McCarthy, US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J-Rod the Beer Guru, Nebadan G. Adams, and ZK Man, and Mike Jackson. Thank you all so much for being my Patreon and Subscribe Star members for the month of March. You are all amazing people. Thank you so much for the support, and I hope that you are enjoying your perks. If you do not know the perks that you get, make sure you read again through all the perks that are listed, and also check your messages if you're over on Patreon, because if you are a $5 and up backer on Patreon, you get special access to giveaways over on the Discord. I send out messages with a link to join the Discord server. I will then hook you up over there, and you'll have access to some really cool giveaways. I give away 4Ks, Blu-rays, digital codes, try and give away at least a couple of big movies, 4K Blu-ray titles a month, and try to do at least 2 to 3 giveaways for when it comes to digital download codes. And I might try and do a little bit more this month as well, because I'm always trying to add extra stuff to it. And also, if you are a $10 or up backer, then you have access to a special podcast that I'm starting to do with John the Flick Pick. That's right, John Flickinger of the Flick Pick channel. We're having a lot of fun with the podcast, and so expect that every couple weeks. And of course, also any extra behind the scenes, extra footage, extra interviews, extra solo podcasts as well, you will also have access to. And my special $25 and up backers on Patreon Subscribe Star, you have access to all of those things that I've listed. You also get a t-shirt. That's right, I will send you a t-shirt for your first month. And of course, you can also be featured on the Chosen to Valhalla live stream once a month. You get to be featured on the Odin's Movie Blog channel. It's always usually on a Sunday around 12 p.m. Eastern time. You get to join some lovely peeps and have some really great discussion with all of the Chosen of Valhalla and me with the live audience. Anyway, you guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless.